All right. Okay, so obviously there's not that much of us here, so I can give you guys extra attention on whatever you want. But basically all that I really want from you guys is to just speak up when you don't know something, and like if someone's fucking something up, just don't be a dick. If today when like we're done, I just want you to at least be able to explain the why behind the how. Like we're not going to be doing it perfectly. Like TWS is not a hardcore milsim, right? So I'm not expecting us to have everything down fucking perfectly. All that really matters to me is that you know the idea and you can like practice it to improve it and explain it to like, I don't know, like if your mom asked you like, hey, why would you do that? You can give her like a basic explanation why it's a smart thing to do. Okay. Okay. That being said, have any of you guys not gone over any of these topics today, be it bounding, formations, or reacting to contact? Okay, cool. Awesome. So you can go ahead and head over to the couches over there, and then we'll go ahead and start in just a second. And does everybody already have their like kit ready to go? Or rather, does anybody not have their kit ready to go?
I have a pilot's kit. I'm not really sure.
As long as you have a rifle with some ammo right now, that's really all I'm looking for, and maybe the radio.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, sweet. Okay, so for bounding, I'm unsure exactly what you guys have heard before, but the basic idea is group 1 shoots, group 2 moves, group 2 shoots, group 1 moves, right?
Yeah, like
so why do we do that? Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just reiterating the setting and the movement and stuff you were talking about.
Gotcha. Cool. So I'll just hit you guys with some rhetorical questions real fast, and then I'll let you know when it's whatever. But so why do we do that? You guys have probably heard War say fire without maneuver is a waste of ammo, and maneuver without fire is suicide. Basically, if all of you guys are running at the enemy but nobody's shooting at the enemy, you're dead. But if all of you are shooting at the enemy and no one's maneuvering on the enemy, they can react however they please, right? So there's a ton of different ways of doing that. Bounding is just one way. And there's many kinds of bounding, but I'm going to focus on alternate bounding, Jesus Christ, sorry, and successive bounding. And alternate bounding, I just want you to think about like walking your leg.
We lost your soul.
Yeah, we lost you, soul.
Lagged out, bud.
And that's such an uncanny feeling. Oh, the soundboard goodness.
Can you see us in game still? Did he lag out?
Okay, I think it's gone.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Hello. There he is.
There we go.
Could you guys not hear me before?
You like lagged out or something?
Yeah, your voice just like cut out.
Fuck. What was I talking about? Did I ask you a question yet or no?
No, you're talking about alternate bounding and advance or whatever the other one was.
Yeah.
Alternate bounding. Why we do it.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so basically just to keep you guys alive, right? And also to make sure that you like effectively take out the enemy and you're not just shooting bullets for the sake of shooting bullets. So I don't know if it cut out before the explanation of which one's which, but alternate bounding you can just think of as like walking, right? It's one foot in front of the other. Your legs alternate when you walk. And successive bounding you can think of as like a caterpillar. The head of the caterpillar moves forward and then the butt catches up and then the head moves again. All right. So exactly like how far that is really is going to be terrain dependent, but a good rule of thumb you can use, especially if you're in like a fucking open area like this, which is one instance of when you would use bounding like this, is I'm up. So you're shooting, you're in the prone, you get commanded to move, you get up, you start sprinting, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and then you hit the dirt again. Now in our server, you're not moving very far. but in Bellum and other servers, it's going to be better. You're going to cover more distance. But the reason why that phrase exists is because that's roughly the amount of time it takes a human to identify and like move their firearm over to shoot you from whatever the fuck they would have been looking at, assuming they're not already pointing straight at you, right? So that's the concept behind that. And Racing, can you tell me what alternate bounding is?
When I think it's one team goes in front of another and the other one goes out. I think.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Yep, very nice. So if we're doing the I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, you're only each moving like the same for the same amount of time. So you couldn't do that with alternate bounding. But right now we'll just practice successive bounding. We'll go ahead and just do 2 and 2 so we can make this fire team. So we'll do Maniacs and Racing and Fail and Archangel. And if you guys just want one team on the right, one team on the left, the RPG is going to be very effective suppression, but it might be hard to get multiple rounds out.
Yeah, I pulled up X.
It's all good, man.
Wait. Racing and Maniacs on one side of me and Film. That's
it doesn't matter which two, but so long as there's two on each
I was
side.
confused who I was with. Sorry.
No worries. All right. So the idea behind this is also not just like, okay, one group's moving, then the other one's moving. It's also that you're like in line with the dude next to you, because if I'm here and he's in front of me, I can't really shoot forward where I'm supposed to be able to shoot because I might shoot him. So we want to try and be like right next to each other. So if you stand where I am, Archangel, when we turn to our right and left, there shouldn't be like a gap. It should be very obvious that we're in line with each other. So I wouldn't want to be like back here if we were one team. And also, like, if I'm the front guy and I go down, like, not get shot, I just hit the prone and I'm way out here. Even if I went like further than you think I should have gone, you should try and catch up to me, just so that we're all level.
Okay.
And one really important part of this whole piece is that we are communicating. So as soon as I go down, if I'm the first man, I'm not saying set, because that tells the other people that they're free to move, which is probably not the case, because if I'm the first one, I'm not providing a ton of suppression or anything. But okay, that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and try it out, and we'll go ahead and fix it. So we're doing successive bounding. So just one team is going to catch up to the other. And Archangel, you guys are going to be the first team to move. So Maniacs, Fail, CD, you guys are going to start suppressing. So whenever you start firing, they'll move. What do we say?
We're set.
That you're down.
We're set.
Moving. Covering.
We're set.
Set.
We're set.
Moving.
Moving.
Covering.
We're set.
Moving.
We're set.
Moving.
Moving.
Reloading.
Set.
I'll stop you there. I won't make you do it for the whole fucking length.
Index.
Also, because
Index.
we move very, very short distances in the server. But yeah, that was good. Maybe on that like last one, the second team got out in front of the first one, but that was the exact concept. Feel like it's a little bit easy to do right now, or very, very much easy to do, because we're not moving very fast, and also there's no actual enemies to shoot. But that looks exactly how it should, and you guys did a good job of waiting until you're actually in position, right? And even if you don't hear something, if you, like, one of you guys had a AR and you heard that one ripping and you're on the team that's like waiting to move, you're probably good to move if there's a 240 laying down suppressive fire, right?
Copy.
So yeah, so we'll go ahead and reset now, and then we'll do the same kind of thing, but I'm just going to give you guys like slightly different terrain, and I'll let you decide what you think is best with that. All right.
Oh, I thought my game just crashed. I froze for a good second.
I was wondering why you're still standing out there.
Okay,
Alright.
sorry, I didn't hear what you said because my game, everything froze in my computer.
You're good, man. So we're just doing the same thing back, but just with like some different terrain in there.
Okay.
And I'll let you make the decision of what you think is best. But now this time, Archangel and Racing, you guys are going to be the group who starts suppressing first.
Quick question before we start: am I allowed to be like this close to racing?
Yeah. So generally, you want to be further apart, right? Like our rule of thumb is far enough apart that an explosive like a grenade isn't going to take out both of you, but close enough that you can see him and still support him.
I was wondering because the sandbags, like if he were to get behind cover and I'm just laying there in the open, I would probably be shot and die.
Yeah. So it depends, right? Like what provides you more survivability, right? Is spacing going to give you more survivability, or do you maybe both want to be on that sandbag?
True. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Whenever you guys are ready to go, just give it a shot.
Quick. Set.
Moving. Alright, we're set.
Set.
Moving. Set.
Alright, we're moving now. Alright, where's
Loading.
Where's
I'm
that
set.
now?
Yep.
Loading. Moving. Set.
Alright, we're moving.
Moving up.
Do you want it to be raining or do you want me to make it sunny?
It doesn't matter either way to me. All right, that's good there, guys. You can stop.
Index, guys.
All right, so right here, just freeze where you are. Freeze where you are. If I was you, Archangel and Racing, you're not necessarily wrong being where you are, but don't feel like you have to get online with the team next to you just because we're doing successive bounding, right? If you can stop 5 feet earlier and there's good cover there, just stop 5 feet earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't want to do it to be like, remember, like one of TWS's things, right, is be doctrinally sound, not doctrinally bound. So don't just follow it because that's like the rule or the fucking tactic that was you were told, right? Do what's gonna serve your purpose in the game better. And yeah, in the beginning, like you may have seen, I'm just gonna shift you guys back real fast. I think you guys had like different ideas of like exactly where to stop, right? And that is kind of that same principle. So just remember, if someone goes further than you and you following them is not going to get you killed, you want to follow them, right? And even if like it's kind of a bad idea, like your squad leader leads all of you guys into maybe a bad scenario, you need to be like sticking with your squad leader. So again, just remember, like, it doesn't have to be that like 3 seconds, my PC is me, I'm down. Just do what makes sense in the scenario that you're in. Okay, cool.
Yeah, was I wrong in trying to push to the sandbag? I felt like I was in good cover, crouched to push all the way to the sandbag with that.
Yeah, no, that was good. I think that's good. I also, just with this one, make sure, like, the idea is also that we have effective suppression when the other team moves.
Okay.
So like when we're 4 guys like this and maybe one of the 2 is reloading, I might say like wait to move or just something like that. You don't have to use like super military jargon or whatever the fuck to just like communicate properly.
But just be effective so they understand. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I was seeing him stop earlier, and I was just like, "Am I doing this wrong?" I figured I was like, "It's better cover to get to the sandbag so we can be more effective with suppression." But I didn't want to leave the other team without suppression, so I wasn't sure which was best.
No, I think you made a good call, right?
Me. I was running crouch, so I was significantly slower.
Oh, it's okay. That's
It's
why
all
we're here.
good.
We're learning.
Yeah, and also like outside of what we're doing today, Hey Young Dan's posted a video today on like the same topic, so I would highly recommend checking that out. Because I'm not going to spend hours on this, right? Like we're not Milsim group. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want you guys to have like the general idea and be able to do it, to be able to practice it. Real fast though, before we potentially switch gears, let's go ahead and do it again, but just do alternate bounding now. And who can tell me what that is?
Alternate bounding is like walking with your feet left, right, left, right.
Yep. And so one's going past the other one. Exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, you're moving a lot slower with a big limp. That is not what we're trying to do.
The pimp cane and everything. No, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. Okay, so I know it's a lot of the same thing right now. One thing more I want to add to you guys is that while we're doing this, you want to have a 15-degree offset from your barrel. That's going to be what you're responsible for. So you're looking straight ahead, and you imagine like 15 degrees to the left and 15 degrees to the right of your barrel. That's what you're shooting at. So like, here, I'm going to move you guys forward real fast. If it's like this, and pretend I'm an enemy that like pops out of a doorway, and Racing turns to shoot at me, but now, sorry, I'm in front of you guys, but just on the runway down there. But let's say you turn like kind of far left to shoot at me, both of you do, and then an enemy comes out over here on the right. Now nobody's looking at the right, okay? And they can smoke you. You have to trust your teammates to do their job. Obviously, he's reloading or something like that. You're not going to be like, well, I can't shoot him. That's not my sector. But there's a reason why, you know, everyone has a job, right? We don't want to also potentially like shoot our teammates, but even though it's fun to shoot people, we want to just maintain that. But okay, you get that. Let's go ahead
it's
and
also a good reason to call it when you're reloading.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And additionally, like with our machine guns and stuff, like you might want to say half box or something when you're half of your box, so that people know you might be reloading soon. But all right, let's go ahead and do the alternate bounding right now. So Maniacs and Failseed, go ahead and start it off.
We're suppressing.
Yep. So say moving. Yep. All right, I'd get down now if I were you.
God.
All right, set.
We're
Moving.
Okay, moving.
Mm-hmm.
See me down. Oh no, we go past. Sorry.
Very good. So yeah, sorry, a team leader would have like told you what you're doing.
Moving.
So when you're moving, you are not shooting, because right now the other team is making it safe for you. The longer you're standing up, the more danger you're in.
Down.
So you just want to sprint and get down.
We're set.
Set.
Moving.
Covering.
Set.
Moving. Yep.
Alright, cool.
Loading.
Keep going. Go all the way through the infantry. Sorry, not on this rep. Just as a whole. My bad. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're set now.
Loading.
Moving.
This looks good, guys. This looks good. I'm gonna drop down and check on one of our other guys doing some tactical stuff, but keep it up.
Loading.
Reloading.
Yep. That's perfect. So actually, one thing keep doing what you're doing. Just listen. You can pick up and move, by the way, Racing, if you want, and Arc.
Oh, they didn't say. I didn't hear them say set.
Yeah. Nah, you're good. That's my fault. So one thing to note also is when you are about to move, you want to move with a full magazine. So reload if you need to, and then get up and go.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna push through the enemy. Right now, right, we didn't really talk about this, but you here, ceasefire. Pretend everyone's fucking dead, or at least everyone that you can see. You guys are gonna stand up now that you're really close, and you can do this from like a little bit further out. And like the command might be made to assault on line. So basically, you're already in a line, right? You're all parallel with each other. Yeah. You're just gonna walk forward, holding your sectors, and going past the enemy. Okay, we want to make sure that we killed everybody. So go ahead, assault on line.
Moving.
Dead checking. You really fucked him up. Good job. Okay, and now we're going to call something called an LOA, which you might really not do this in the game. It's LOA, so stop moving.
LOA.
That's, line of advancement. So as far as you're going to move past.
I thought it was limit
of advancement. I'm so sorry. That is correct. And now, like, if you had like a support by fire or something like that, if you look off to your right-hand side, War like would have like he was off to the side. He was doing suppression on the side. Now he's gonna sweep through the enemy like this, and make sure that in fact the sector is indeed safe. And now he reached his LOA, which is limit of advancement. Thank you, Fail.
No problem,
and you guys are gonna go ahead and set up 360-degree security. So go ahead and do that.
Where we set it up on? Oh, just
right here. I know it's like a fucking open airfield, so realistically you would just be getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. But yeah, this is good. I mean, obviously we'd have more spacing, but it's like a bad training scenario, right? Because you're not going to want to stay on a fucking airfield for any length of time. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. But yep, exactly. And then you guys would communicate like, is everyone alive? Do we have enough ammo? Whatever. So if you guys
report.
Yep, exactly. ACE report. I'm not gonna make you go through like the terminology right now, but it is really helpful to know because ACE report being ammo, condition, and equipment. But like for Bellum and fucking Reforger when we're playing, it's just can you continue the mission or do people need medical attention before you proceed? So right now, if you guys look at your ammo, even though like this really wasn't much of an engagement and these are static targets, I'm guessing you kind of burned through a decent amount.
Yeah.
So I know there were multiple iterations, but just like it's important to notice like how much are we suppressing. You don't have to mag dump, and you guys weren't doing that. You guys were doing a good job, partially because the targets go fucking down when you shoot them. But when you can't see the target and you're just trying to make sure you keep their head down, you're probably going to shoot more. So just keep in mind that it might be really difficult to take another engagement if you just spent half your ammo on this one thing. But that was good. I know it's not super exciting. We can do this again on like more difficult terrain with like actual enemies if you guys want, or we can just start talking about formations. I know War has something coming up, so I don't want to spend forever on this, but it's really what you guys want.
I've been with you on Soul from other stuff, so I'm good. Whatever these guys feel like they would like to do, I'm down for.
I'm good.
I think let's find some real enemy, like real AI.
You want to practice real AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That could be fun.
Cool.
I understand that one, and I'm not trying to step on your toes by throwing out other terms. I just want any new guys to know that those are like similar meaning. Like, so if you hear somebody in Bellum go, "Hey, I need an ACE report," then that's you understand what they're asking for. But TWS, I'm not saying like, "Oh, you need to know what that means." All that stuff.
I appreciate that. It's useful to hear it, even if like we're not using it and it's good information. So thank you. All right. So yeah, if you guys want to rearm, go ahead, and then we can do it again. I will try. I assume you probably don't want to do it on the airfield if we're going to try and do this for quote unquote real.
Yeah, and assault online is also known as a blast. If you ever hear someone say like, "All right, assault in the blast," like we all just blast through the enemy in a firing line, like we done at the end. Normally, it's used like at the very end of the assault.
Yeah, like kind of when you're going like assault online and dead checking and everything, pushing through.
Yep.
Is that what you mean, right?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I associate the term correctly because I hadn't heard it before. Okay.
Okay, we'll do this one iteration, and then we will go ahead and switch to the next thing, which the next thing is going to be more theoretical. We won't spend long on that, but just basics of when you're going to use different formations. Okay, so you guys are here in this tree line. Did I grab everybody? I think Jedi, you're in Game Master, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. I moved us over here.
I'm still at the training.
Oh, R.I.P.
There you guys are. I was like,
Okay,
I bet it's
I
going to take a second for y'all to load in.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let me.
Yeah, it takes like 10 seconds after you get teleported for like things to like load in around you at least on my rig.
I'm here pretty much.
That's usually how it is for Arma. For everything.
I was gonna say, and I got 64 gigabytes of DDR5, so it's not like I got a slow machine.
Wow. You gonna buy a mansion someday?
Yeah, no shit. And what's funny is my community got it for me before any of this stuff happened, so I got lucky. I got it right before all this stuff.
Yeah,
Jedi,
super clutch.
Jedi definitely screwed
Yeah,
up
now you can
and zoomed
get
way
an
too
AR-15 cheaper.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Genuinely insane. Yeah. All right. So let's say you guys are in this tree line. You want to take those bunkers across the field to your east, southeast.
Southeast bunker.
Oh, right behind us.
Probably. Yeah, it looks like you guys are looking at them.
Okay, cool.
I see a hunting stand.
Let's see, right over here.
Oh, that's east, southeast.
Yep. Eyes.
Yep, eyes.
Cool.
3 bunkers.
So, yeah, so we'll just say that like the fucking forest to your right is mined, so you're not gonna go over there to try and use that cover. You have to go through this field. So one thing we can do. Go ahead. Sorry.
Through the field. So
yeah, you can't.
You said the minefield's to the right.
Yeah, basically just pretend that you have to go through the field. Like there's mines on each of your sides. So like if you can imagine, I'm gonna move you guys really fast one more time. Like if you're in a forest like this, that's like super narrow. When we see this in like Ukraine nowadays, where there's just like a fucking road with a small path of trees, and then on either side it's big open wheat fields. You might use like bounding like this in that sort of situation. So it doesn't have to be like an open area. It's just you don't want to move very far before you get down again, because the enemy is like right in front of you looking at you, and if you're trying to get to him, you have to go straight to him, otherwise you're dead. But yeah, so that's just to try and paint example for you. Like sometimes flanking isn't an option, and that's when bounding is more useful. Okay, so you're back where you were before the teleportation. And we don't have to bound when we're shooting. You can also bound when you're not. There's different like things called like bounding Overwatch, which is more like squad level stuff. Like you might, or even I guess you can still do it with your fire teams. But the idea is just like you're moving through an area where you're really expecting contact, right? So you want one group ready to shoot while one group is moving. But for this, let's go ahead and just do. Just go ahead and like start moving on line towards those bunkers, and then we will react to what happens. Hopefully the AI is not trash. And someone that wants to go ahead and lead it, go ahead. And,
before we start moving, let's initiate with as much violence of action as possible. I saw a guy with RPG, so maybe start with the RPG. Who has the RPG?
That's me.
Who's me?
Archangel.
All right, so initiate me and Fail Seed. In fact, I'll be with Racing Dude now. Oh no, you're on my left. All right, so Fail Seed and Racing Dude, you're gonna be the first to go, and me and Archangel will start with the GL and RPG.
Copy.
All right.
Ready?
Initiate.
Firing.
Moving.
Direct hit.
I'm down.
We're good.
Pushing up.
Moving.
Set.
Covering.
Yep, I'm set.
Moving.
Alright, we're moving. Alright, I'm set. I don't know about fail seed.
We're set.
Moving.
Pushing up, moving.
Reloading.
Covering.
Yep,
I'm set. I'm
reload.
set.
Reloading.
Moving.
Reloading.
Ready.
I'm set. I don't know about fail seed.
We're
Good.
set.
Moving.
Moving.
Covering.
I'm set.
Reloading. Okay. Ready to
Let's
move. Moving.
Reloading.
We're set.
We're set.
Moving.
Moving.
Covering.
I'm set.
Up on the hill to the right.
We're moving. We're moving.
Moving.
We're set.
Moving.
Moving. Oh, I've got them moving.
Okay, fire on the left. Fire on the left.
Yep.
Set.
Covering.
We're moving.
Reloading.
We're set.
Moving.
Moving.
Reloading.
I'm set.
We're reloading as well. Alright, we're moving.
Covering.
We're set.
Set.
Moving.
Moving up.
Enemies to the left.
I'm set.
Set.
We're moving.
Half mag.
Red smoke on the right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my smoke.
We're set.
Reloading. Reloading. Alright, ready to move?
Moving.
Alright, set.
Moving. We're set.
Drag out.
Set.
Not yet though. Hold on.
Pushing up.
My bad.
Reloading.
I'm set.
Ready.
Moving.
Reloading.
Set.
Set.
Moving.
Moving up.
Failcy, do you think you can cover that more left side?
Set.
Yeah.
Moving.
Assault online. Assault online. Assault online.
Alright. Get up here, Failseed.
Double tap, body check.
Be careful, that might wake up.
There's some guys up here and to my right in the tree line.
Alright, let's call that LOA. LOA, LOA, LOA.
LOA.
Alright, let's go
360.
a little bit back towards the bunker.
Set 360.
Alright.
Feeling back
Ghosty's
towards.
watching north.
Watching east.
I got.
Watching west.
Yeah, I got southeast.
One woke up.
What's happening? What's happening? Talk to me.
One
Contacts
got up.
north. Yep. Contacts northeast,
Down.
north.
All right, what are we
Alright,
gonna
please
do?
report. Maniacs are in 3 mags, 7 40 mic.
Racing dude, 9 mags and all medical supplies.
Archangel Michael, 2 mags, 2 rockets, all medical supplies.
Fucking
Man down.
came out of my menu and saw another dude. Holy shit. Holy fuck, dude. I came out of my menu and there's just a Russian running straight at me. Fuck, Ace. I had 9 mags and I'm green.
Alright, index. Cool. Okay,
Holy
so
shit,
just in case you guys haven't heard, Phil used something that. So sometimes you can use colors with our ACE reports, right? Just to quickly communicate. So you might say you're black on AT, which means you don't have any AT, or we're green on, you might say like condition or casualties, right? So that means nobody's sustained any wounds. Generally speaking, like for especially for fucking like Bellum and stuff that we're doing that is perfectly fine. If you find yourself in like a super intense milsim environment, you want to be more specific. But for our purposes, that's fantastic, right? It's quick, it tells you what you need to know.
Yeah, I just meant like for the green for my, like you said, it is okay to use colors like for your condition. I get what you mean. Like if there's more hardcore stuff, you'd be like no casualties or whatever, but.
And yeah, so different people have like different thoughts on it too, right? So I'm not just trying to pick on Fail. I'm just saying like,
no,
that
okay.
When you hear the colors, that's what that means. I posted some pictures in the side chat for you guys in Discord. For the most part, it was pretty good, right? We'll move on after this one, and you guys can do this in the future if you want. I know War is trying to do something. I think that first picture is when Fail and Racing had moved up. Maniacs went and Archangel were like online with them, and then this is right before Fail and Racing started. So this is maybe like when, am I lying to you? No. Yeah, so you can see in the third picture here, this is what I'm like getting scared of or getting trying to avoid. So this is like kind of basically what happens when you have that first picture, right? Is you already have one, the second group isn't fully online with the first, and the first one starts moving again. And then Maniacs, if he had to shoot, like if he was doing his like 15-degree offset, Racing's in that, right? So if you see that happening, just communicate with one another. Maybe say like Racing or Alpha like halt or something, and then Maniacs might say like long bound or something like that, right? So this field, there's not any terrain, right? But if you just like saw something that like looks like good cover, maybe 10 meters past how further than you would normally bound, you might just yell like Alpha long bound or something like that. So Bravo knows they need to suppress for longer, and also the rest of the Alpha guys know you're running further, right?
Okay.
But yeah, just try and avoid that so you're not shooting your homies. Never a good thing. And
that's
then
a great picture. It's a great way to explain it.
For sure. Thank you. And then in the last one here, this wasn't bad at all. Like the call was to get Failseed closer with you guys, which you did. And then obviously there's 4 of you, and there's like not a whole lot. Maybe like you're a little like maybe you don't need 2 guys in that one space, and Fail could have been on like the outside. But like you're a small team, right? It's going to be hard as shit. And then at the end there, I healed 2 guys because when LOA was called, here I'm going to put myself down. I'm going to try to, there we go. So if you open your map or just look over here, if you can hear me shooting. This is where the Russians were.
Yeah, that's right. I saw him stand up.
Yeah. And then there were some contacts over there in that tree line. So obviously, this is a scenario with 4 guys.
The 2 contacts in the tree line, I body checked them because they were still in my visible range. I killed those 2 guys.
So that was good. That was good for sure. But like if you saw like contacts here, maybe before we do our like ACE reports and set up security, we make sure they're not dead, or maybe that they're not just lying down waiting for us to drop our guard, or like prepping a frag or something like that.
Did I react?
All in all,
is that okay?
It was pretty good. Yeah, no, you did great. And then that last guy
just saw a guy stand up, and I've realized I just said guy stood up. I didn't give my guys any other like real information. So they were the ones actually calling out contact north, which I failed to do.
Gotcha.
So I didn't know
okay.
if there was other ways, or
No,
if there's something else that should have done.
For sure, it's definitely good to do our 3Ds, right? But like your weapon is a form of communication. At least it's like something, you know. The more you can say, the better.
Yeah.
But sorry, Maniacs, I didn't
They
mean to
hear
cut
me
you
mag dumping.
No,
They know something's going on.
I was about to say pretty much exactly what you said. Like, you have something, you have a priority in front of you. You have all your brain is going on your gun, like accuracy and your trigger. You have an imminent threat that is rushing at you. Your job is to take it down. My job is to understand that. Oh, okay, he's shooting. Why is he shooting? Oh, okay, there's a threat north. He's engaging that threat. He neutralized that threat. All right, is there? So my job, I'm not in the as friction point as you are. Like, you are at the maximum friction point. Like, you are actively engaging someone. Like, you don't have time to
full focus.
All out at the same time. Like, focus on what you have to do. Prioritize your task. Like, your priority of the task was taking down that dude so it doesn't kill us. Calling it would have been good, but I
would have died and I called it good. That wouldn't have really mattered.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't worry about pulling your compass up instead of shooting them. And also, just one quick thing too, to maybe like help with that. At least if you're playing with me, I know I don't think we've really set this as a standard. I don't know if we are going to have such kind of standards here, but like if we're all online moving this way, right? If I say contact left, like everyone should know, like that's left. Or maybe I say 9 o'clock instead of that, right? Because that's more specific. But I think, generally speaking, like the direction of travel being front, and then like using that as your reference point is fine. It becomes a little bit more complicated in that scenario, right? Where, okay, we're not traveling anymore, we're holding security. So if I say front, people don't know who I am or what my front is. So like you might be like, fail seed contact front or something like that, because at least they might be able to like pull up their map and say that. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard, the 3Ds is just distance, direction, description, and the most important one of those is direction, because if fails calling out contact and he only says contact and then I shoot him, at least you know there's people coming, but you have no idea where, how many, how far. So that's kind of what we want to be thinking about. It sounds really weird to be like front first,
distance,
but yeah.
Description, direction, distance.
Yep.
There.
Yep. Exactly. But you guys did well there, and then like I think you saw just like where we can improve and stuff like that. But really, if you're satisfied with that, I'm satisfied with it for now. Not here to be perfect right now.
No, this was great, dude. Thank you so much.
This is awesome. Helped me learn bounding a lot better than what I've already understood.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, anytime you guys want to work on something, feel free to hit me up. Like, I might not be available, but I can at least talk about it, or maybe I am, and we can just jump in. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but yeah, in our server, at least, like, for the directions, you can at least check the bottom of your screen real fast. So that's really, really nice. You don't necessarily have to put your weapon down.
In Bellum, like, the easiest is just to watch your wristwatch, like to give the bearing. It's easier, it's clearer for pretty much everyone. And on that server, we also have that little compass. So, yep.
Yep. I'll start talking, but I'm gonna message War just to make sure I'm not messing up his timing.
They're over in the Bellum training VC right now.
Oh shoot! Okay.
I don't know if they've kicked off. He's tentatively scheduled for 7:15 Eastern. Correction.
Perfect.
8:15 Eastern.
Okay. Perfect. Cool. So let's say we're back in this field, right? And we are moving to those bunkers, and we're like, it's a bunker, right? So there's probably contact there, but we have no idea where the enemy is. What formation do you think you want to take? Anybody?
Wedge.
Wait. Would it be a wedge or
firing line? There's maybe a debate for the wedge. But I would use a firing line.
And talk me through your thinking with each formation. So if I don't know like what a wedge is, why might we use that?
All right.
I was thinking situational awareness for the front, so then they could lead the sides into either flank or suppress. So maybe if you needed to move into a bounding situation, you could.
There you go. There's your wedge. Drawing on the right hand side. That's what I was just moving you into. So yeah, exactly. So Fail's totally right. So wedge is great. Like, it's your best all-around formation when you don't know where it is, and obviously it still has good frontal security, right? But now, if you start getting shot from the side, everybody look at me on your right-hand side. This is kind of the reactive contact bit. We're not really going to rep this right now, so we don't miss out on war stuff. But Maniacs is not going to shoot, right? So turn around real fast, everybody, except Maniacs. Why is Maniacs not shooting?
Because 2 of us are inside his 15.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yep, so what's going to happen is when you react to contact, the very like bare bones thing that you're going to do is RTR. You're going to return fire, so shoot. Maybe I don't even know where they are, but I know they're in that direction, so I'm going to shoot. I'm going to take cover, so get down, or maybe like there's a fucking like little stump in front of me. I'm going to run to the stump and get down. Also, I'm going to get like, so if you did take contact from the right, so Arc, pretend I'm an enemy right now, but I'm like 100 meters further away. You're going to shoot, 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 bang, bang, bang. Failseed is already the front man. Okay, so now when you take cover, since it's an open field, there's not really cover, but we're going to get online again how we did before with Fail. And racing, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, perfect. And obviously our formation would be more spread out, but Maniacs, he didn't get to do the first part, because if he shot in the first part, he may have killed you. And also, one important thing is when you're turning to shoot, it's just turn and burn. It's not turn, move, and burn. Because if I start doing this and Maniacs is shooting, because maybe he's like freaked out or whatever the fuck, there's someone really close, you're gonna die, because he's gonna shoot you or whatever the fuck. So we want to avoid that. So you just turn and shoot, you don't move. Maniacs runs up here to get online with everyone. Now we return accurate fire, because we returned fire, we took cover, or got online. Now we return accurate fire, because that's what's most going to be the most effective suppression, right? Like if you're shooting 20 feet or maybe 30 yards to my left, I'm not that worried, right? I can probably pick my head up and shoot at you. But now, if it's landing right on my fucking tree, I'm going to think twice before I peek my head out to shoot back. So let's say you've established fire superiority. This is when you would move. Okay. If you can't establish fire superiority, maybe you just need to get the fuck out of here, right? With smokes and stuff. But this is when, from this position, you would like make an appropriate decision. Like, are they really close? Okay, so maybe if they're really close, we're going to assault online, just how we did at the end of that exercise. Or maybe we're going to do like a squad attack or battle drill 1 alpha, if you guys know that terminology, which essentially is just like one team shooting and this other team here is maneuvering. We're going to try and like make an L shape on them. And then again, it's like the same kind of thing that we just did. So then like that second team would come sweep through, call their LOA, and Racing and Archangel would push through to me and call their LOA. And we would just do the same thing. So it's really not too complicated. There's a lot of like names for everything, but hopefully that explains like kind of the reactive contact. Did I go through too much too fast right there for anybody?
The L thing I wouldn't really understand what you're talking about.
Sure.
Oh, L ambush.
Yep,
like an L
exactly.
formation is what he's referring to. Go ahead, Soul. Sorry.
No, you're good. I appreciate it. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. So yeah, so generally speaking, if you take like contact close, so a near ambush, which is within hand grenade range, you guys are just going to assault on through, right? But maybe that looks different if you're in like a tree line like this, right? Like if oh God, I just killed myself. Very nice. But yeah, so maybe like here, like I'm probably on the edge of hand grenade range. You might call this like a meeting ambush because it's in between to your south. Sorry, over here. But personally, I would still assault through. But like if this was all open area, like these trees didn't exist, right? Here, no, they're not gonna break. Okay. Maybe I would send Maniacs and Fail off to the right, and this is the L that I'm talking about. So Racing and Archangel, you guys are suppressing my position, so I can't turn, look around, I'm freaking out. Maniacs and Failseed, they were right next to you. They pushed off to the right-hand side and then got on line with my position. The idea is to try and make it as like perpendicular as possible. I can let me drop down. I don't know if this is gonna. Here, give me 2 seconds.
So it gives us both teams of like intersecting fires. What we're really creating, guys, like both teams are shooting at the same thing without endangering each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have my stream open, I can do that, or I can post pictures for you, whichever is easier. Or just move you around, whichever. Honestly, you're here. Actually, we're just gonna move everyone here too, so whatever you have should be fine. Okay, but these Marines in front of us, they take contact to the front, okay, that this fucking Jeep. This team on the left-hand side starts shooting. Here, let me orient properly. They are suppressing. Hopefully they do so. There you go. This team on the right, now they move over here. They're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving. Okay, now they're on line with this Jeep, right? The enemy here. So this team is going to say, like, Bravo set, and then Alpha prepare to shift fire. Shift fire being, hold on, let me get these guys to stop shooting. There we go. Okay. Shift fire being just like move your fire to the left or to the right, and they would say which way they're going to move it. But the important thing is that you have these guys shooting, and they don't have to worry about hitting their friends, right? So that's why we're not going to move these guys like directly forward into the enemy, because we're going to be shot by our friends. The idea is that we have like 2 different directions of shooting, and now these guys can shift, or not shift, they can go through the enemy, and then these guys can do the exact same thing.
A picture from the sky when you have them set like might help him too to see the L, so he understands like what that. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
No, I appreciate
anything bad about him understanding what an L looks like, but I just.
Yeah. So like this, right? And then these guys, I would say, Bravo, action right. Bravo knows that means push out to the right-hand side. And then they do this. And now they say, Bravo set.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much all that is, honestly. And then, yeah, Bravo assaults through. They call their LOA. Alpha does the same thing. And now that everybody's together, we get out of here. Or you could have Bravo return. It's generally a good idea to have like your second group also go through that area, but maybe you just really want to break contact, or whatever reason you deem this to be the best option, that the maneuver element comes back and maybe these guys leave.
Yeah, like you're expecting a QRF or a counterattack. It's like just move.
Yeah. And again, right, like this is just ideas like in our toolbox, right? So if there's a terrain, it doesn't make sense with the terrain, we're not doing it just because I told you, oh, if it's a far ambush, we're doing this battle drill 1 alpha or whatever the fuck, right? It's just, okay, I know that's a good idea for this potential scenario, but I don't have to do that. Okay, I'll give you like 2 minutes real fast on formations, and then we can pop over to wars thing. So like that wedge that we were talking about, right? It's really good for all situations, right, where you don't know, but maybe like we're moving through a tree line and it's really hard to see everyone. Like our spacing is not going to be the same when we're in an open field here like this, right? Like I can still effectively see everyone when we're like this, right? But if I'm in a really thick tree line, like in Bellum, for instance, I might have a hard time seeing people, and that's bad because then I get separated. Maybe there's an enemy between me and my friend. That's extra bad because now there's enemies in your formation, and if you have to turn to shoot them, you might shoot your friends, and also it's just kind of a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, that's clusterfuck material there.
So maybe instead of that, which not saying that wedges are bad for tree lines, but it's just, dependent. Maybe you tighten up the formation so that you're closer together, and maybe you're not as safe from hand grenades, but now you're at least with your buddies and you can see what the fuck's going on. No one's going to be between you and your friend. But maybe, okay, that's not what we want to do. We just want to get in a column or file. So Archangel's leading us out, and we're all looking at the head of the person in front of us, minus the dude in the back. He's turning around every few steps to make sure that rear security is good. So obviously frontal and rear security on this sucks, because if we take contact to the front, everyone has to come up here to the side, get online before they can start shooting, right? Because otherwise they're going to shoot their friend. But it's really good at minimizing our signature and flank security. Okay, so maybe you're like, well, that's, I want to be able to shoot to the front relatively quickly. So you do the staggered column, which is a column, but every second guy is on a different side. So now you can turn and shoot. And even in this scenario, like maybe someone's not in your 15-degree offset, but you can, you're still going to come forward here to the right-hand side if you take contact on the right, if you're on the left side before shooting. Does that make sense? I know that was a lot of words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To oversimplify this, like, the Ranger file is the fastest way to travel and the easiest to keep track during night, but it's the weakest with the frontal firepower. But on the flanking on the flank, they have good firepower. It's the opposite for the firing line. Firing line, you maximize your frontal firepower and it's normally the final assault position because you maximize your firepower in the front, but it's the weakest on the flank. So that's why you need to keep eyes on the guy on the far end. Need to keep an eye out just to make sure to keep security. And the wedge and the diamond is like an all-around formation. Like, you're unknown, you don't really know where the enemy contact is gonna be. You have maybe you think it's gonna be south, but it's possible that the contact is gonna be east or west. So you're gonna adapt in a versatile formation.
Mm-hmm.
And the staggered column normally is used on the road. So each side of the road, there's like 2 Ranger file. So both team can use the cover and concealment on their side.
Yep. And one quick, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it was just another way to see it and explain it.
Definitely. Yeah. So if we're on a road like this, I totally also agree with what he's saying about being on a road. You generally want your staggered column. If we're on a road like this where we're in open terrain on either side, I'm not going to like force us into a staggered column. Not that that's what he's saying, because maybe like a wedge would make sense, or maybe we just shift 100 meters off to the side. But let's say we're going through this town over here, and all of a sudden, okay, well, we could take contact down that alley, or maybe over here in this town center or something like that. It suddenly makes a lot more sense to be in a staggered column, right? I had something more for you, but I think that's pretty much enough for the moment. I don't want to take away from War's thing. We can do this and react to contact like this over and over again, because there's so many ways to mess this up and get better at it if you guys want. But
yeah, this is always good to practice, I feel. I mean, I'm a pilot and I'm here doing it just because I feel like it's always good to know these things.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have any last minute questions before we hop on over? All right, well, cool.
Nope.
I appreciate you guys being here. Sorry there weren't more people or more like AIs to shoot. I promise in the future we'll have a little bit more fun with our training.
Don't be sorry, dude. You did great. This was fantastic. You did this is a great class, dude, really.
Thanks, I appreciate that. All right, I will talk to you guys afterward if you're still here when War's done, but I'm going to hop over there.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. GG's.
Thanks for the class, Soul.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Soul.
Yep, thanks, guys.
The enemy is digging in, that means they don't feel comfortable pushing past where they are. Mm-hmm. So this is the time to redirect resources to the enemies you can take out, especially those hill snipers, just so that you can start moving around better in the space you occupy.
Okay. Let's get one more.
All right, we're jumping over to the
Sorry, my wife just came home with a brand new wedding ring that I bought her. This thing is kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie, boys. Anyways, let's see. Gundolf, what about you? What's your option and why?
Oh, I am multitasking. I am not paying attention.
Roger this.
I'm just here because I'm sitting at my computer.
Nope, you're good. All right. Who is still on page with us right now and hasn't spoken up?
I volunteer as tribute.
Do it, Pest.
I would prioritize the snipers in the hills for the most part, just to take some of the pressure off so we're not getting fucked from 360 degrees. And then if you have the Apaches inbound, they can kind of work on the rest around. But like whoever it was before said, they're digging in, so they're not comfortable pushing up forward. So you can get those snipers, not sweat QCB as much, and then let the Apaches eat.
Okay. This is what ended up happening in real life. So if you remember Romesha and Carter, they actually do heroic actions, and they end up retaking key positions. However, they lose more men in the fights for it. The air comes online, and they start hammering the hills, like all over the hills. All right, so here we go. And here's the final tie-in, and then we'll talk about kind of everything in one big solid thing. So the third phase, right, relief and the counter assault. It is now 1,200 to 1,800 and a little bit past 1,800. All of air arrives in full force, and they absolutely annihilate the Taliban positions. They get about 150 enemy KIA. The QRF, which is called Black Knight Troop, with about 80 friendly troops, insert by Hilo. They link up with you, and they clear any remnants of enemy positions. The insurgents have broken contact by evening, and they're fleeing with massive losses. You hold the base, but the base has been torched, and the evac is still going to go down on the next day as planned. So, your final calls. With all that information in mind, what are you going to do? How are you going to integrate QRF? Do you even pursue the enemy retreating? And then how are you working medevac? And this one, I'm not really worried about you guys with the minute. Anyone can speak up for this. Don't wait for the time to speak up.
Medevac is first priority. Fuck everyone else. Take care of your Marines first.
Okay, so Pest says he wants to prioritize medevac. Does anyone have anything different? Anyone prioritizing something different?
Negative.
I do. Kilo does actually.
Send it.
I would integrate a QRF to clear the immediate zone. Because one, our casualties are already high enough. If the evac is already planned for the next day, the medics are probably already working on them to try to keep them stable. But we can't do anything in terms of trying to get the evac there quicker. So I would try to clear the immediate area, at least make it safe for the medevac helicopter that next day to come in and not get shot at again if that situation were to arise. Kind of making sure that the guys we can transport are able to be transported without being under heavy fire again.
Okay. Did anyone choose pursue retreating Taliban? And if so, kind of just give a reasoning.
That seems crazy given what's happened so far.
Yeah, just fucking. All right.
I guess it's possible.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we're kind of stuck between integrate the QRF, which is security first before medevac, and then do medevac first and then worry about security. So
how's the QRF coming? Are they airborne or
the QRF landed in helos?
All right, but the QRF can do both. Like they can bring more personnel in to secure the zone and take one or two casualty out, maybe. I'm not
okay.
I've never worked with helis, so I don't know if it's a possibility, but that's just something that I would think
of. Okay, cool. So now that was kind of a warm-up exercise a little bit, right? The real discussion is going to be happening right now, which is with all that in mind, how do we tie all of those in Vellum? I'm going to paint a picture for you. Another one. This time it's going to be specifically Vellum related. You are a platoon leader or a squad leader, doesn't matter. And you are walking around Vellum. You're walking around the AO. You find yourself in a bowl, and all of a sudden you are just getting smacked with an overwhelming volume of fire from all directions. Okay. What is what is your first initial action?
What faction are we playing?
Any faction of your choosing. We're working on core concepts right now.
At what
Start
distance?
shooting back.
Yeah.
Okay. So initial reaction is what? We're just gonna try and gain fire superiority.
Return fire. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say try to consolidate troops. Check who's still up, who's still down from the initial attack. Find proper cover that could at least provide some type of protection for those who are down or those who are still up. And then once we can verify where exactly the heavy fires come from, try to find their MGs, their RPGs, where they're consolidated, and then fire back. We don't just want to start firing in random directions, giving them our positions out.
So, go ahead.
Question. Yeah, is this similar to the TG that we ran through? Like, are we assuming in this situation we're also not allowed to maneuver?
Nope. You have freedom of maneuver. You have everything that you can do in Vellum. The current situation is, as of 30 seconds ago or 15 seconds ago, every single tree around you is speaking a different language and it is shooting at you. And your whole platoon is kind of in this. You know how the rolling hills of Vellum, how it's kind of like, yeah, think of it. You're at the bottom of one of those rolling hills, and you're getting smoked from every direction. What are you doing? Like, what is your first call out? I'm not worried about terrain right now. I'm talking about as a platoon lead, as a squad leader. What is your first call out?
Well, obviously at the squad level, they're running through the react to contact drills. The first kind of, I think, as a result of running through those, as they're running through those react to contact drills, I'm trying to pay attention to the envelopment that we're currently in, seeing if there are any weaknesses in that envelopment that we can exploit to perform a breakout and get the fuck out of that position, because we do not want to be fighting from there.
Okay, so you're
longer than we have to be.
So your order or your commands to your unit is going to be try and shoot back, right? Relieve some pressure, and then find a place that you guys can kind of just pull back into and just get off the X. It sounds like. Okay. Anyone else have anything different?
Ideally, during a react to contact scenario, everyone's going to start lighting up. My first initial act would be to just have everyone throw their smoke grenades in one direction, single grenade. From there, you start shifting the opposite direction with your grenadiers firing in said opposite direction to clear a nice hole and do your best to make it out if you can. But in that scenario, you're likely just going to be fixed in the first place, and it's kind of hard to probe when you're not attacking. So yeah, not a great scenario, but it's the best you can do that I know of.
You're trying to find a gap, right? And you're trying to punch through a gap, right? Because no matter how good a group is, there's always going to be a weak point in their line, right? Whether it be internal or external, whether it be offensive or defensive, there's always going to be a weaker point along the line, right? I would offer you this to chew on a little bit. Imagine you are getting just shot at. You've gained fire. You're trying to gain fire superiority. What tools do we have at our disposal besides bullets that we can use to create either distance or obscuration?
Grenades and smoke.
Yeah, grenades and smokes, right? So we use those grenades and smokes not necessarily as something to kill the enemy, but we want to use this newfound chaos, right? We want to turn it into our favor. With all the bullets flying around, it's going to be loud. So now, couple how loud it is, right? Because if you can't hear anything, the enemy probably can't hear anything. So that's one auditory, or that's one sense gone. Now, take away their visual or their ability to visually acquire you. Smokes, right? Now, we're not throwing smokes in our own position. We're throwing smokes at the positions that we're hearing gunfire from, because we want to create time and space between us and the enemy. And it will help a lot more if we can create time and space and blind them, so that way we can utilize and exploit the time and space to get off the X. Now, this is important. A break contact command is going to sound something like this, right? Squad or platoon, break contact north 300 meters. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be a gaggle fuck. It will not be organized. Everyone is quite literally running for their life. That's fine. What matters is you guys getting accountability after the fact, and you try and get as many people as you can off the X. You're going to lose people. There's going to be casualties. You can't get away from that, right? But you staying there, and this happens in Bellum all the time. How many times have you guys seen a squad get ambushed and they just get wiped? Because instead of getting off the X, that squad stays in the prone and tries to bandage their buddies that got shot, right? We've all seen it. So the point of this is if you start receiving fire and you can recognize that you are getting ambushed, that is your time to fire at the enemy, pop smoke, and leave, right? I would say that you should try and do like the doctrinal turn and burn, like a near ambush stuff. But as I've been playing Bellum, and the more I play Bellum, I've come to realize that it's hard to apply real world tactics that rely heavily on the human dimension or the human factor, which is fear, right? That pucker factor, right? Suppression only works if someone is actually scared of getting shot. We all can kind of understand where I'm coming from with that, right? But it's a video game, and everyone knows it's a video game. So now I'm moving into what is the game-isms versus the real life isms. So we are marrying the real life ism tactics to the game-isms. And a form of the real life tactics is to break contact. Because unfortunately in Bellum, if we were to get into an ambush and we try and do assaulting through on a near ambush, in real life, it would make the enemy probably fear for their life. In the game, it's just a life ticket that they lose. They don't really care. So we have to think about that. And it's going to be difficult, right? Because everyone's preaching, and even myself, I have been preaching, this tactic here, this tactic that, but with how the game has been developing, we're going to have to adapt and change how we play the game tactically to fit how the game plays out versus how it would in real life. Have I lost anybody? Does anyone disagree with that? I'm more than welcome to debate it.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, so we're going to be starting to look at more different tactics in terms of like how can we apply real world tactics, but in the theater of Bellum, because it hit me yesterday that we can't apply real world tactics the way they're meant to be applied in a video game. And that was obviously not unknown to a lot of us, but it's not the degree in which it doesn't work is actually kind of dumbfounding when you think about it. So that's why I'm trying to do this conversation with you guys, is I want you guys to start thinking of like, oh shit, like what are some ways that we can take real world tactics and still make them work in the game? Does anyone have any ideas?
Trial and error. You have a community that is very knowledgeable and like, hey, this is how we're doing it in the real world, and then we attempt to implement it and iterate based off of the results.
Yeah. So think more like so a supporting unit, a supported unit, right? A support by fire and a maneuver. I think that's a real world tactic that we can actually apply in Bellum rather well.
I think a lot of the base concepts still apply, but it's like the actual execution is so different.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly where I'm going with it, Gundolf. Can you extrapolate on that? Like explain your thought process. Pull that string.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, so
I was not paying attention until 15 seconds ago.
Okay, so you are currently walking you're walking to your position and you just got ambushed from all directions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
In game, the first thing you got to do is start shooting back.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Before you do anything else, you got to start shooting back, because if you stop moving or you go still, you die. And then after you've started shooting back, then you can start to work out whether you can go forwards, backwards, withdraw, flank, things like that.
Where would you? So let's pull that string. So you started shooting back. Where would you go after you started shooting back?
Really depends. Depends on how well it's gone. If they've taken out 3 of your dudes in the first 3 seconds of that fight, the only thing you're doing is getting away from there with as many lives as possible.
Are you guys playing right now?
No, we're not playing right now.
What's your? Oh, am I not answering your question? Explain it
No,
recently.
Discussing.
We're doing thought exercises. We're kind of trying to talk about how real life tactics can sometimes and cannot sometimes apply to a game like Vellum, and then where we can marry the two.
Or it's like the idea of support by
question.
fire and like the assault and the support groups. That the concept works in that like the support groups shoot at them while the assault groups get in there and kill them, but it doesn't work because they're actually suppressed. It works because they're distracted. And if that makes sense, like in the real world, your support group actually suppresses them. They're actually suppressing them. And they are sitting there and they're going, "Oh fuck, I'm going to die." But in the game, all you're doing is making them look at you. Like they might be taking losses, but they're not sitting there shitting their fucking pants.
I'm going to second that.
IRL, they're gonna be scared to die in game.
Yeah, but
we are greeding on the kill. We are getting shot at. Alright, we want to kill the guys that are shooting at us, and we are high focus on the support element that is suppressing us, so we don't pay attention to the assault element that is on our flank and just wiping us.
The assault works not because they're too busy hiding from your bullets. The assault works because people can only do one thing at a time, and that's usually shoot back at the support by fire people.
You have to be obnoxious versus being terrifying, at least in a video game.
I don't know. That's probably an actual like more clear cut example. Is the people being suppressed are not suppressed as they would be in real life. They're just busy engaging you back or like trying to disengage or trying to find cover, and that means they're not probably pulling security properly. They're not paying attention, and that's when your assault group will actually get behind them. And once that assault group takes out, if you think it's like a squad size, if that assault group, if they've lost one to two people from like that initial support fire, and then the assault group gets behind them or on their flank and kills two more in the opening, like that engagement's already done, because that's like now like 2 squads versus 5 people. But yes, that's the end of that thought, unless you want me to explain further on something.
No, I think that's actually really good. I think we are starting to hit a what's the term? A tipping point where we have talked about tactics so much in Vellum that everyone is using the tactics now. But now that everyone's using the tactics, it's almost become a moot point because everyone already knows what everyone's going to do. So it's not like the tactics are working, or it's not that the tactics are not working. It's just that everyone already knows what's happening or what's going to happen. So we have to find ways now. How can we, I don't want to use the term metagame, but if we're trying to win, we have to think about ways to create our own twisted version of real world tactics and doctrine and apply it to a game like Vellum in a way that is new, in a way that works against what we've been taught or what we know in the real world, right? So off the bat, we can all agree the human dimension's gone. No one is actually terrified to die. Therefore, people will take risks they normally wouldn't take in order to achieve a certain goal, right? One thing we can all agree on is probably if I am being suppressed in real life, I'll stay down. In Vellum, I might risk getting up to throw the grenade. I might risk standing up to shoot the RPG.
There'll be that one dude crouch walking through those bushes trying to still fucking kill you, dude. Who'll be like sneaking closer to you, even though you're shooting his entire fucking squad shooting at him. He'll still be crouch running through those bushes just to try and shoot one guy in the head.
Yep. And he'll be successful too. All of a sudden, you're like half your squad's gone, and you're like, what happened? We were suppressing every living dog water out of them. It's like, yeah, you were suppressing them according to real life parameters, but this is a game. And so some dude said, fuck it. And he went, he just kept pushing and he got you guys. So I think what we need to be conscious of and cognizant now is, and this is more the philosophical side, is how are we going to develop tactics that are going to, again, marry the gameisms to real world tactics? Because the whole idea of find, fix, and finish isn't going to be applied here anymore. Because how many times have you found an enemy, tried to fix him in place, and he was still running around like he didn't have a care in the world? It's very difficult to finish an enemy who you can't fix. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that still works. So that concept still applies. It's just not like that literal.
Fear doesn't exist in the video game. You can't terrify anyone.
If you shoot at them enough, they're gonna either. If you shoot at them enough, they're either going to die or start taking cover. It's just they're not going to do that because they're scared of you. They're going to do that because you've killed 2 or 3 of them out of their 9 already, and they start going, "Oh no, we're losing."
The key human emotion here is irritation as opposed to terror. All of our tactics have to be based off of irritation to some extent to actually get the result that you want.
Not necessarily. Like if you're in a squad of 9 and someone opens up on you and you lose 3 dudes out of 9, they stop moving. People start going prone. Like you're still fixing them. It's just not like the literal concept that all the military guys
fixing
are used to.
through casualties works really good in Bellum.
Because people were like, "Oh, we're probably fine at the squad. We've lost 3 guys already." They immediately go, "We're fucked," and they start like going prone in bushes and shit. Stop shooting back.
That was a fucking killer point, though. Fixing with casualties is phenomenal, and it almost always works. I can't really think of any scenario where people instantly leave their casualties right off the bat and don't at least try and take a minute to finish the fight and get their guys up.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking of something when you said about like how it's different. You can still apply the same tactics, like because I've got so many fucking hours playing squad comp, which is so similar to Bellum do that it's like coordinated infantry squads fighting each other. It's like all the normal stuff still works at the base concept, but there's so much more like fluidity and like independence that's required from all the individual people. Like you can still fix and flank people. You can still have support by fire. But like the individual people, individual soldiers, individual like squads, individual fire teams, the more fluid and more like independently they think while still being like, I don't know, coordinated in the whole, the better it'll work. Because a lot of people come from the military stuff and it's so structured. You do this, and you do this. But as soon as someone can like split 3 fire teams in 3 different places and each of those fire teams is thinking for themselves, all of a sudden they're going to be behind you.
And, when we talk about gameisms and like metagaming, something that I often consider is in Bellum, something that's extremely different from reality is the fact that, we have this platoon-sized force that can have a significant component of it get absolutely blown off the face of the earth. And then, in the matter of minutes, you can reconstitute that force to be a platoon-sized force again. And I think that there are opportunities to exploit that, or at least like I feel like there should be, because what you're essentially gaining is you can actually commit a lot more of your effort towards reconnaissance and towards gaining information about the enemy and their positioning and the terrain around you. And you could lose that reconnaissance force if the information gained from that reconnaissance allows your reconstituted platoon to reach a decisive victory. Like it's a worthy trade, Yeah,
communication and like map knowledge of where they are is literally everything. Like there's so many times in like an individual fight where if the guy next to you says, "Hey, there's a dude by that rock 30 meters away peeking out the left side," and everyone in your squad is doing that, all of a sudden you are going to start winning almost every fight. And it's the same thing for squad level stuff. Like if one squad's engaging and the other one's in a position to flank and they're like, "We're engaging a squad in front of us. They're based in these 2 buildings." The squad next to them then go, "Oh, well, I can send a fire team. I can just use one fire team to like screen my area, and I can send my other fire team to try and flank them while I still hold my, lane or zone."
That's actually some pretty good. I was not expecting it to really go that far. I think that was awesome that you guys were able to really push that we'll call it a thought thread, really pull on it that far. So I guess the question now becomes, right, is what are we going to do? And when I say what are we going to do, I mean like what are some ideas that we have where we can, like we can fix an enemy in place with casualties. Like we can kind of delay him from moving or get an initial shock factor where he kind of so concerned about his casualties. But what are some ideas that we have where we can kind of, and again, I hate to use the term metagame, but are we just going to stick to real world tactics in the hopes that, it's a toss up whether it works or not? or are we gonna go and find different solutions? And then the next question is, how are we gonna find those different solutions, and what is it gonna look like to implement them in the game? So these it's open-ended question, right? And they're very like super broad questions, so you can easily pick that apart as however you want to.
I think you just do like what makes sense, right? Like our whole thing is to be doctrinally sound, not doctrinally bound. So it's just like being in a different situation. You use the hand you're dealt. And in Bellum, that's not the same as it is real world, right? For so many reasons. But I think, having like these ideas like, okay, well, I'm going to have this group suppress and this group maneuver, that obviously still makes sense. But maybe, what we were talking about with like, you just kind of want guys to be shooting back at you so you know where they are. Or maybe if you're shooting at them, you're kind of just signaling where you are. They're not actually scared. I personally, maybe metagaming, but in my opinion, is just kind of like you're playing the game in the way that it's built. Like you're not exploiting anything. I think, in my opinion, that's like the best way to do it, is just, whatever makes the most sense.
Like you said, it's a video game at the end of the day. There's only so much that we can do to emulate how it can be like in real life. So at the bare minimum, playing with real world tactics is going to be better than everyone kind of just fucking
something we could
doing their own
think about is
as long as you have people like on the same page, I think, and doing stuff that's effective, that's what we're looking for. Sorry, I spoke over someone there.
So do you think, and here's where I'm torn, right? When I play Rangers, I want to play Rangers like the quote, air quotes, correct way. But then when I play Al Zalam, I have so much more fun playing Al Zalam because there's like no rules.
You're running around like a crackhead in the forest. There's a gun team over there. I'm going to go shoot them.
Do you think playing Satyr and Rangers as if you were Al Zalam could be a benefit?
I don't know. You have to try.
Don't they have mobility?
My ass beat, but I've gotten better.
It's a like slight 10% buff.
Do they feel better because you just, I don't know, like you playing into the strengths more than playing into the doctrine? Like, because the strengths of Al Zalam is the maneuverability, and the strength of Rangers is the fact they have lots of fucking guns that shoot lots of fucking bullets. And that's not necessarily a doctrinal strength if you're looking at the actual real life doctrine. That's their in-game strength. Like you want to prefer longer sight lines, and you want to like use the gun teams in support of the line squads to cover flanks and to like lock down open areas. And like that's still like doctrinal stuff, but you're coming to that from the in-game strength, not the 200-word Marines doctrine document, 200-page, whatever it is.
I'd agree. I think there's like wiggle room, right? Like you want to use the assets available to you, but also like, to War's point, I think with it being a game and people not being as afraid, like suppression's not as strong in Bellum as it is real world.
It still exists though. Like if you start putting enough 100%. Rounds at people, they're going to start like reacting to you. They're going to start 1000%. Taking cover. But it's 1000%. Not like you can't fix them with lots of fire just because you're doing it. Like you got to start putting casualties in or catch them in a weird spot. Are you referring to that game, that fucking AZ Rangers game where you Alamoed in the village? Is that the one you're talking about? Is that what you have in
yes, that's kind of what I'm getting at, right?
Because that strategy you used was fine. Like the strategy itself made sense. Like leverage the high ground with the MG teams. That overall strategy made sense.
So do you think that game would have turned out if instead of us waiting and trying to play to our quote unquote strengths and set up sort of a defensive line, instead we played the game as if we were Al Zalam, where we went out and we just were hunting?
I think you can still play defensively, but it's like this is going to be a very gamerism concept. It's like it's most prevalent in like RTSs, like PvP RTS. Is there's like you want the other guy to be responding to what you're doing, not you responding to what they're doing. And that doesn't mean you have to like full send shit at them. Doesn't mean you can't play defensively, but it's like you need to be putting pressure on them in some form.
Yeah. And you can even do that like setting traps and stuff too.
Because what happened with that game on the hill is that we realized you were on the hill. And so we spent the entire first 30 minutes trying to work out how to get on the hill. And eventually we did.
And I think one important note too is that the tickets for both Satyr and Rangers are more valuable than more valuable than Al Zalam. So if you lose those gambles where you're being more aggressive, it does hurt more.
I don't know. Like the defensive strategy wasn't.
What if
Isn't I'm supposed to have additional tickets in comparison to the other factions?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It also seems like
That's a
no one
really
takes
point.
advantage of the fact that Rangers have the best camouflage in the game. They can
This
just
is a
sneak
true
right in and
statement.
hide like it's cool.
Yeah, but I don't know, that game award Addy as well. It's like the reason you started losing was because that squad got ambushed and then they tried to find a better angle and actually left a gap in your line. Like that doesn't mean your overall platoon strategy was wrong. It just means that squad fucked up and they let us through onto your gun team and the whole thing folded from there. Like that's not a criticism of your overall strategy. That's just what happened.
So what I'm hearing is if we want to play either defensively or offensively or however we play, end of the day we need to keep either a psychological or a physical pressure on the enemy so they do not have the room we gave them on that Alamo match, so that they cannot think and operate for themselves.
I mean, yeah, in some way. I mean, the Alamo move in the fucking village was the right time. Dude, Elzalam had 60 fucking % manpower when you fucking went to that village, and they ended with 41 because our team fucking ran into machine guns for 20 minutes straight.
Was this the game where there was no contact for 45 minutes? And we all just ran across? Oh, no.
My question is for the squaddies out there is, do y'all think they should add a suppression system similar to squad or kind of leave it how it is?
No, squad is the worst fucking example
Dude,
of all that
that's
shit.
that's what I'm worried about. I'm hoping that they don't add that just because it made it so impossible. Like if you start taking fire, even if you're prone, like it is just the biggest pain in the ass trying to even just see in front of you.
I think the idea was okay, but just the way they fucking executed it was bad. Like, you know, I'm sure maybe somewhere out there one day, or maybe with Bellum, you know, devs can think of something that might make it more immersive and practical to have an actual suppression system in a game that works, that everyone's content with. But the way Squad does it is fucking horrible.
I mean, and they've said, AI said before as well.
They turned the game into an individual infantryman simulator where you're actually focusing on weapons handling and whatnot, as opposed to a small unit leadership and tactics simulator.
Yeah.
Which it never was after it left fucking alpha anyway, so it's stupid. Anyway, that's a different conversation. We can call squad shit for like several hours if we wanted to.
Yeah, once they added even if like this, if they kept the suppression system and kept the old scopes, it would have been fine. The fact that they added the scopes and the suppression system in at the same time, I feel like fucked it. Made it so hard to use a gun that didn't have an iron sight.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. As Astadi said it before, it's like part of suppression existing is the fact you have 3 lives. You know, it's like halfway between it not mattering and real life.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to be slightly suppressed if you can only die 3 times because you are not going to stand in one spot and shoot back at the people shooting at you. If you
it sounds like
only die 3
from their
times.
conversations that they don't want the squad sort of thing. They just want you to be like genuinely afraid for your in-game
Which
lives.
is true. People on their last, think about how you play on your last life, dude. You play like a fucking coward on your last life. Especially if you can tell the
one
game.
life only, bro.
Yeah, but then you'll die in the first 10 minutes, so then you'll send me another message that says, actually, I want 2 lives, please.
Which I think is good that Karma came from Squad. I mean, that's where I know him from, is from Squad. And so I think it's good that he has
it'd be really interesting.
He sees the good and bad out of it.
I wish the respawn timer was longer. It punished you more. We have an hour and a half game, right? 2-hour game at the very beginning, and it's only a 30-second respawn. I don't know. It doesn't seem proportional to me. It's like, dude,
well, I mean,
you want to make each live count more and be more punishing? Put a 20-minute timer on the thing. That's eternity, motherfucker.
That's how you lose the player base, though. Because
dude, that's what the
go
get hydrated.
Maybe if it was like a longer timer, not 20 minutes, but to like spawn on a fire team lead or something like that. Because like sometimes I'll have it where I pretty much spawn right back in the action, and it's not been long at all.
Actually, I had a thought about it. You were talking about like the real life tactics.
We need to make it longer.
To the game. It's like, at least with the teams the different teams I've played with, is a lot of the guys who come from like the proper military shit. It's almost they play. I don't know how to explain this properly, so bear with me. But like too structured, because like you come from the military, like you receive your orders to go here and do this, and there's like a certain amount of freedom inside of that. You know what I mean? And you sort of, if you think of it as that really structured way, is you're almost limited at how many things you can do at once, or like how much you can do. If that makes any sense.
Structured in terms of like
making
where you're coming from, or the fact that it's like a video game and you can only do so much in a video game.
No, as in like if you've been in the fucking military and they've taught you this is how you do it. You first set this and then you do this, and the platoon leader sets this, and the squad leader sets this, and this is your little area in which you operate. Like that slows down how fast you can like maneuver to a degree.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what it sounds like you're trying to say is that with the military structure and background, you're losing a creativity for thought or movement outside of what you execute. If you're coming from the military background, a left face is a left face. From the civilians, it's like, all right, well, it's a left face. But let's see, existential circumstances says I need to go around this wall, though. I'm going to take that extra step and then go around the wall. That military guy's going to run into the fucking wall.
I think you're taking what you believe to be stereotypical military as like that's not the case. In
100%.
The military.
Think about how to say it.
The military is
okay,
very
that's my fault.
It's initiative. It's okay. You know, everyone's learning. I'm learning. You know, initiative-based tactics, right? Which is and decentralized command. I just need to know my platoon commander's intent. What is the end result out of all this? What is the end result that he wants to achieve? After that, it doesn't matter how pretty or how ugly it gets done. It's just if it gets done. You know what I'm saying? And so initiative-based tactics is I don't need to be told to attack that hill and use maneuver doctrine and set up a sword fire here and set up a maneuver element here. It's simply, hey, here's the problem. It doesn't matter how we solve it. We just need to solve it. And it can be in some of the most unorthodox ways possible.
That's a good
I think that's
the
space where like Rangers could like be more like Oslam, as maybe have like two more more two-man teams and shit like that, just harassing fires.
No, that is a perfect way of framing what I was trying to explain. Is that initiative-based stuff?
What was the end result?
What did you call it? Like
initiative-based tactics.
Initiative-based tactic. It's like the more there's upper limit.
You don't keep ammo in the house.
In a game like this, like the initiative-based tactics are everything. Like if you can have your squad leaders like working together with only having, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. But like when things go well, usually you've got 3 squads all operating independently, but like cohesively. Mm-hmm. And doing that.
Yeah, one goal,
really
3
hard.
different ways.
Or it's more like we need to take that hill. So the squad in front should start fixing by fire. The one on the flank should start flanking. And the problem I see in game is it's like people don't take that initiative. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if you can take that initiative, if you can start like appearing in 3 different places at once to the enemy, then you're going to start really fucking them up. Maybe it's just a general game. People are getting better at the game. But when I used to play squad comp in these games like this, the more independently your squad leaders can think, like the better it goes. If you have to start telling people what to do, you're already like on the back foot, and that's probably a complete departure from what I started talking about. But that's where I got to.
Well, I'm thinking next time we run Rangers, we run it like Oslam, see what happens.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think the game 100% benefits from that like very maneuver-based kind of thing. It's just the Rangers maneuver a little bit less, and they have big machine guns that need to be doing something useful.
And they don't have bright blue shirts.
Dude, I love the bright blue shirt. The bright blue shirt is my favorite
Negative aura.
The fucking sports jersey, dude. So I don't know if they explain that all that well, but it's like the maneuver to the strengths of your faction seems to be the most powerful way to play.
Mm-hmm.
And the strengths of the Ranger faction is not that they play defensively, but they can use lots of fucking bullets. They can shoot lots of bullets compared to the other factions.
Yeah.
And sometimes you play defensively, sometimes you play offensively.
I don't think necessarily playing Rangers like Al Salam would work because, or at least I don't think it'd be as effective because you have a real maneuver buff over long distances with the Rangers, and you know, for that type of play style where you're more distributed and you're not as mobile, Alzalam
You've also
can pull
got
it
one
off.
less rifle squad too, which is noticeable difference once things start getting messy.
Yeah, those gun teams are really slow too. Like the
Mhm.
only way
What
for
if-
them to match speed as riflemen is they have to pull nades out, which is not always the best case.
What if we played it in a defensive posture with offensive infantry? So we set the gun teams up in, let's say, on the high ground. If we're using that Alamo match again, we set them up on those high grounds. But as soon as we realize that they're attacking on the right side, you let 1-1 go. Hey, get a flank going. Push into their AO, not let them get back. Let 1-2 and 1-3 recuperate the hill, or even fall back off of it. But you let us be, as each individual squad, be more flexible while you leave the machine gun teams in support of the flexibility of our squads. If that makes any sense.
Maybe. Actually, I thought of another way to think of it, War Daddy. Rather than playing them like Alzalam, is it's like your like, what is it? Your thing you get on ranges is the gun teams, right? And your M249s in each squad. And like, it's less about being defensive or aggressive, or it's more about how do I best use all these machine guns for whatever situation I'm currently looking at. It's just like, you can still be aggressive with the gun teams, but it's just about the person running the gun team knowing, if my friends are attacking this, I need to set up here. As I would think of it less than like playing it like Alzalam, and more like, how do I apply the gun team to whatever problem is in front of me, whether I'm being aggressive or defensive?
Yeah. No, I think I agree. I just want to see, and the reason why I bring up the whole run Rangers like Alzalam is because, truth be told, I have had more anecdotally, I have had more success running Rangers as if I was running them like Alzalam. To be honest, just from anecdotal evidence from what I've experienced, when you play as chaotic as Alzalam does, it makes it hard for, because Alzalam's shtick is that they're chaotic, and therefore it makes them hard to pinpoint and put and hold down to finish, right?
Yeah.
And even though Rangers have that debuff, right? They don't, or not debuff, but they're not as fast as Alzalam. It's a 10% movement buff speed that Alzalam gets. We get body armor, as Rangers get body armor and pretty good machine gun teams. So that 10% can be negated just by simply good positioning and outmaneuvering. You know what I'm saying? Because Alzalam works well, very well, and everyone who's played it can attest to this. When you know where the enemy is and they stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
the extra flying squad,
and the extra, now you take Rangers, who everyone knows seems to kind of sit down and set up a defensive line. They fix themselves, and that is their critical vulnerability. Is their center of gravity is their machine gun teams, but their critical vulnerability is that they use the machine gun teams in a way that fixes them in place, and so their maneuverability and mobility is gone. So now they're just kind of like a sitting duck, waiting to slowly death by 1,000 cuts. Now, if that Ranger squad is broken up and they go into small hunting groups, it's a little bit different. Now it's a little bit more even in the playing field, even though, sure, Alzalam gets 1 extra life, but they don't have body armor. So they theoretically, on paper, they should go down quicker. But I don't know. Well, the hit reg has been a little weird recently.
I get what you're saying. Do you think maybe it could be a middle ground position? Because what you're kind of saying is like, they're so maneuverable that we need to just hard focus as the Rangers on mobility and maneuvering constantly. But what if it's more of like, we need to pick up the tempo, the rate at which we begin maneuvering. So we're not, setting up that SBF traditionally and keeping it there for a long time and orchestrating this platoon attack where we're constantly on the march, constantly on the move, reacting to these contacts that we're taking and pursuing them until, we've destroyed them as a means to prevent envelopment.
Like, to build on that, it's like, why don't you just, you move through the map, through the good terrain, through good, like, to try and take good positions, and then your gun teams or SBF establish themselves once you know where the enemy are. Like, if you're fighting over a good position, like if there's the AO1 with the big open ground on the west side, like the massive big open ground where Rangers like to be. Is like you would send your squad, you send your ranger squads into the forest, or you'd send your little recon elements into those little patches of forest. And once you know where they are, you tell your gun teams to like set to cross to like watch the ODAs or watch the like forests. And then that's what I think is the biggest thing with the gun teams is they need to be having impact when they start firing. Because if you're playing Al-Zalam, and this is why we killed your gun team, as soon as someone on AZ, what do you call it? Red selling? When you like think
Red
about
cell.
the other team?
Yep.
As soon as someone on AZ hears a gun team, it's like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to shoot that person in the back of the fucking head. Because, one, it's funny to kill machine guns when they look in the wrong direction. And two, that's what Rangers get. Because if you kill one or two gun teams from the Ranger side, they now are down their force multiplier of the machine guns and they're down a whole line squad from the very start. Like if you look, I reckon if you look back at all these ones where Rangers lose, I reckon the majority of the time, as soon as a gun team dies, is when it like starts going downhill. Because it's like their force multiplier.
So what it sounds like is we need to treat every engagement like an ambush. We get set up, the enemy comes into our kill zone, we hit them hard, we hit them fast, and then we leave. Because it sounds like we're staying in place too much. We don't need to hunt the enemy. We just need to relocate so they can't know where we are and get around us.
So we need to
or just use the machine guns. Like you should be like in my mind, which may not be the right mind, of course. I don't care if anyone disagrees with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But like, the gun teams would be so powerful if you're like, I don't know, someone give me an area of terrain that we all know relatively well top of our heads, like school or something.
Yeah.
Like say you're moving to
not
school.
even. What about the town in the school, or what about the town with the giant 200-foot cliff, just across the river?
Like north of school.
I think so. The town's in a weird peninsula. It has a bunch of like land bridges, and it's overlooked by the giant ass cliff.
The southwest school.
Yeah, that place.
Not school.
The village AO. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
The village AO.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to use that as an example because the village AO is too obvious because there's a village with one giant hill on the north and one giant hill on the south. Like, there's no thinking about what to do because there's. So let's just say school. It's like if your forward squad recons into school or goes towards school and goes, there's enemies in school across the platoon net. Your gun team's job is then to maneuver to a position where they can fire into school. Rather than like setting up the position, it's like you find the enemy, use your gun teams to set up wherever it might be useful, whether it's like covering a flank or it's like, actually, do you want me to paint this shit up, dude? Or do we have whiteboard in this?
Wait, we got whiteboard, I believe.
So much easier if I draw this rather than trying to badly explain it, dude.
Good lord.
How
long ago did this conversation start? Oh no.
We've been talking about this since 8, so we've been at roughly an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
1 second, let me open paint.
I was like, I just jumped in like halfway, and it's like, damn, are we about to finish? Like, I don't know.
Let's see if I can stream over.
Yeah, no, y'all been about an hour.
There we go. Am I streaming paint?
Yeah,
now?
I'm gonna jump on your little arts and crafts here.
Yeah, dude, I love arts and crafts.
What do you think, buddy?
All right. I push the talk drawers on the paint. All right, give me a second to finish before I start talking again.
Oh, scream.
So was there a specific topic coming into this, or was this just fucking talk about whatever and we'll roll with it?
Converting real life tactics into gamerisms.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't perfectly translate.
Please bear with me as I explain my horrendous drawing.
The fuck?
Beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful.
Hey, better than what I can do.
Where's the cursor button so I don't fucking draw on this by accident?
Okay.
All right. So this is AO1 with the giant tree line in the middle. This is the cluster of houses that sit in the open ground.
Yes.
This is that next cluster of trees. and this is school, right? Why is it zooming in every time I hit my push to talk button? We'll see how far I get. But
nice.
Here is
Gundalf, you're fired.
you don't like my art, dude? Just give me a second, all right? I'm working on it. Actually, can War Daddy launch? Can you launch Whiteboard and then we can join you? That might be way easier.
We're about to figure to find out and scream
I
at
just
me.
realized that is probably going to be a million
Nope,
times more.
I do not have permissions.
Damn.
Gay.
Yeah, maybe we ought to bring that up to Karma. That'd be a good thing for him to add.
Everyone riot. Everyone at him right now.
Start spam adding Karma.
All right, so this
record
is
that
a
is not
terrible
serious.
example drawn badly, but this is AO1, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about using the gun teams proactively, I got to click off the brush. Why does Paint have mouse button 4 bounders fucking click?
Oh, you tell me, brother.
Dude, there we go. I'm just going to hold
To
the push to talk button
inconvenience
down.
you.
But it's so the arrows of the squads moving in, right? The idea is you're moving into AO1. You might send one squad down the big fat tree line in the middle. You might send one squad through these the small villages and the fields over here. Or you might send recon. And this might even be 2 or 3 dudes going for a look. 2 or 3 dudes who've been told to go see if you can find them and then break con as soon as you see them. And let's say, for example, you find bad guys. You fucking piece of shit. Come back. You find bad guys in the tree line in a little village, right? And then in a perfect world, your line squads go fight these people. And then what in the whole concept I was trying to explain earlier is your weapon, your gun teams are back here. And then your gun teams go, my line squads are fighting people in the forest and in the village. What do I need to do so I can help and support? And say you got 3 gun teams. And the idea I was trying to explain is these line squads hit contact here. And then your gun teams go, these guys are in contact in this good cover in the forest and around these buildings here. If I had 3 gun teams like this, you'd put one on this flank here to make sure no sneaky AZ pieces of shit are running. There's a road on this side. And there's the ground drops down. I have literally myself gone, there's enemies in this forest, run across this road and then run along this low ground and come back up. So you would use these guys as support. One would sit here and kill anyone who tries to flank this line squad here. One would sit between these squads, and then anyone who moves through, there's a road, I think, that runs down this middle bit, roughly. There's a bit of an open patch. The idea is these guys sit here, they cover the open patch, and then if anyone from these 2 AZ squads tries to sneak up around the outside of a building or drop out of the tree line and flank through, these guys absolutely fucking rail them. And then these guys on the right, same thing is here. You'd have them sitting. If anyone tries to pull out from this village, they're going to run directly into this machine gun's fire. And if anyone tries to support, if this AZ squad tries to get support through this forest, these guys are here to suppress anyone who comes through here or tries to wrap around that way. Because the hardest gun teams to deal with are the ones that are behind the enemy that are far away. Because you've got fucking iron sight 50-year-old AK fucking AKMs. So I just
want to ask you a question. How does this necessarily prevent envelopment? Because that's kind of what we're trying to get around, right? Is AZ is so maneuverable that they keep enveloping RR, and we're fixed when we deploy these guns. So how is this scenario?
I think my first point is that these gun teams' job is to sit back on the flank. If in this case, of course. So like if AZ tries to envelop this squad, these guys are sitting back here, and anyone who tries to come out of this forest and around runs into this gun team.
Dude,
yes, once this gun team is here, they will then go that way, but that's just like you can go around each other for the whole entire width of the map if you want.
Dude, you're like describing like a security element right now.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it is. It's like the idea is if these gun teams are the target, put them behind your front squads, and they either have to walk halfway around the fucking map, or they have to shoot their way through your line squads. And then the other thing to remember is...
Oh, sorry.
The other thing I was going to say is, you guys keep treating these machine guns like they're static. They can literally just stand up and walk somewhere else. Like, if these guys here go, I think they might be around me, all they do is use their brain cells they hopefully have as people who play games
guns,
like
guys.
this.
Don't be so sure.
Oh, that's
word hopefully.
Look, they're behind me. Look at this amazing. Oh no, 1 second. Look at this amazing tactic I've done where I move 20 meters back and face a different direction.
Big brain.
Big brain moves. Big brain moves.
I don't know. This is what I was attempting to explain that whole time. But the idea is, and that was also that like you're having your squad leads and stuff, that initiative stuff, is it's like if this gun team, say you were talking like they're getting flanked idea, like if this gun team here covers this and like engages people who are moving along this open ground and they stay there for 10 minutes, of course they're gonna fucking die. Like, you're playing against people who are not stupid. They may not like be smart, but they're also not stupid, if that makes any sense.
They'd be playing games.
They'd be playing games. Even the most rat-brained idiot can go, if I'm walking into the machine gun going this way, I should not go that way again. Like, if you suppress a squad and push them back, you know that there's going to be at least a fire team coming to kill you. And then you would set further back and you would tell this squad, I'm needing to pull back to cover the flank. Or you might, because I mean, if it was this exact scenario, you've still got like your platoon lead and you got a whole spare squad as well. Like, you could ask, they're trying to flank us on the right, and you could bring a fire team or a squad over here. We'd even just use the when it was playing, so we called it canarying, but it's security. Like, it's you just take the platoon doctor or like the what is it? What's the platoon sergeant? And you just stick him up here, and his job is to see if they're like trying to wrap around.
Yeah,
and
that was my only
play that defensively.
Like qualm is that maybe like that the machine gun we're talking about on the left is like a big asset to relegate to something that's maybe not getting a lot of action. Like, maybe you could have them nearby, whoever is watching that, to relocate. But like, it's a good everything.
Because when the hardest, the most annoying, like, because I've played so much AZ, because all of the people who are like all of the milsim people like hard lock rangers do. And like sit there and spam click it. I've played Rangers like 5 times, maybe 6 times in like 5 playtests because it's always full and I don't care enough to sit there and click it myself.
Feel that.
But the gun teams that are hard to kill are the ones that are shooting at you with their flank secure from far away. So like, because I remember the start of the playtest, people would like stick their gun team like here. They like stick it next to the line squad. And then it's like, you just like walk up here and shoot them in the side of the head. I don't know. It's just an example. And it's like every single situation is different, but that's like a representation of what I was talking about. And obviously it will fail sometimes, and they like people will get through the gaps and kill people. Like that's like completely that's like an unsolvable problem. Like you can play as well as you can, but there's a chance people get through. But if you have these, like, especially if you're playing this AO, and I use this one, because, like, let me mark some, like, rough ODA kind of areas in yellow.
I just want to say something real quick. Spears had a really good idea too. It's like we have armor over these guys, we have firepower over these guys. We could look to win through attrition by holding strong points. So the idea is like, can we explore holding strong points, leveraging our overmatch in our fires, in our body armor to just win through attrition? Like, fuck it, go ahead and envelop me.
Yeah, you can. But the problem is, the longer you stay in one place, the more time you give them to get behind you. Like that game, the War Daddy.
You didn't hear what I said.
What do you mean?
Because envelopment means they're behind me. If I'm fully enveloped, they're all around me. So can we leverage not only the strengths of the faction, but strong points in the map to tank that, to win through attrition?
Oh, I see it's mess. Yeah, 100%,
regardless of
dude.
envelopment.
I'll tell you about a game that Clee recorded, dude, that I'm in as AZ, where everything went wrong, and that is exactly what they fucking did to us, dude.
I remember one match, like, super early on, War was the PL for a Rangers group, and they held that forest on the left there, where that lefternmost red rectangle is, and then AZ was, like, trying to get in. Admittedly, they were sending, like, kind of, like, one squad or maybe two at a time into there, and it was just, like, AZ couldn't get in. Even though that forest, like, fucking sucks to fight in, if you can prevent people from getting in there, and that's, like, your quote-unquote strong point, like, I don't know. I feel like
I remember.
It works well.
Yeah, it does. Like, I remember this is a terrible drawing again. But like, there was this game where we played as AZ here. So Rangers had set, like, remember it slopes up to the left. So the gun teams were here, and like the rifle squad, the gun teams were sitting here watching this like ODA here, and the line squad pushed through this forest. And like, it was all these tactics where it was like one squad would push and the other ones would have like advantage. One squad even went all the way up here on like out of the AO and fired down into my squad. It's like, that's like 100% you can do that. Like 100%. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying is that how fucking fluid this game is. Like, you may not be able to, and you need a plan when you can't do that.
Thing with like strong points, I think, is just trying to minimize the effectiveness of GLs and RPGs if you're going to stay static, right? Like, you're giving them the opportunity to maneuver and fire into your position, presumably.
Yeah, and like, what's a strong point in this game as well? Like, what counts as it? Because there's some strong points that are not very strong. People think they're a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's dependent on how you're positioning your platoon. So like in Bellum, the strongest positions I have found are positions that naturally have a lot of alternating battle positions for any given like AOA to that position. And secondly, the avenues of advance themselves are extremely limited. So it's either, you have like maybe two forests running to a strong point, and it's like, okay, I'm going to focus most of my efforts on those two likely AOAs. I can cover all of this fucking open terrain with like 3 dudes watching each of these fields. So you can concentrate a lot of that defense just on observing those AOAs, and you only need an extremely light security force seeing if they are actually trying to attempt to cross the ODA to your defensive position. So like, those strong points exist for sure. I also just think the player base doesn't really understand how to do perimeter defense and like what defense in depth.
We're getting into a type of conversation that I want the rest of T2S to be a part of. Let's move over to our Discord so that way like we can get more bodies from our side of the house actually at least partake in this discussion, because this is the kind of stuff that T2S was founded for. So jump over there real quick and we're going to continue this because this is good. This is tickling my pickle right now.
Where's everyone jumping to?
Come to our server. Come to our Discord server.
Send me $5. I'll tell you. I'll send you the link.
Wait, he counts as my recruit.
He counts as my recruit.
Hey, if anybody's not a member over there, I'm gonna drop the link into the chat bubble right now. Just bring up the chat.
There you go.
All right.
Anybody who is still in here and wonder where everybody went, We're jumping over to the TWS server, so head that way. Link in the chat bubble. I think everybody here is a member.
Dress after we got fucked. So, or someone like one of our vehicle players would like flip his fucking vehicle, and someone would go in and start talking about what happened, and they draw like a flipped IFV and draw like pictures of them saying I can't drive and shit like that.
What is
Honestly,
this?
you should like save that shit and then have like a fucking put it up in like a training server or something in a hallway. That'd be lit.
Hey, Gundalf.
Yeah.
Hey, you can open up Whiteboard over here, and you can import one of these pictures for one of the AOs.
You know, I think I'd rather start again.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's go to Whiteboard.
It won't take
Everyone
me
click
too
join
long.
activity. Yep, everyone just click join activity, and you'll be able. When you join it, make sure you scroll in your mouse wheel to zoom out, so you can move your mouse off of the area that he's trying to talk over.
Yeah, I use the one I'm dropping for you right now. This one will work with if you can.
What'll work?
Yeah, some of them are too big.
He's using it. He's using it.
Okay, okay.
I want the one. There's a different AO. Is it AO? I think it's AO2, the open one. Do you have a picture of that?
Yeah, stand by. Give me a few seconds. AO2.
Does anyone need this AO3 before I delete it?
The only thing you need to know about AO3 is there's a village with 2 giant fucking hills above them.
Yo, low-key, I know the village is a little bit of a death trap, but I feel like if there's I feel like being in buildings in Bellum is bad because most things are penetrable, but if they don't know which building you're in, trying to clear out those buildings is an absolute nightmare.
Oh,
also,
yeah,
the penetration damage is pretty bad on like the 5.56. I'm not sure about the gun team stuff, but I survived in there for way longer than I should have.
Nothing wrong with being in the village, but if the first step is being in the village, you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
The being in the village is like step 4 or like step 3.
Yeah.
All right, gotta fucking put my cat outside while Jedi finds AO2.
Do it.
Question for the group. So
Answer
it kind
for
of
the
seemed like
individual.
we were teetering, like the big question we're trying to solve, right, is how are we fighting against AZ as RR? And there seems to be actually, we're going to the extremes of either possibilities. It's like either we invest heavily in just maneuvering constantly, or we do the exact fucking opposite and we just like are static as shit but extremely strong.
You know,
it's
the
like,
worst part,
what are we leaning towards?
The worst
Alright,
part,
big
dude,
fan
is
of
that it's
stealth
dependent
game.
on the terrain you're in and what's currently happening. That's the worst part. That's the answer.
All right, there you go, Gundalf.
I don't necessarily think that's the answer, just because.
What the fuck? This isn't the one I was thinking of. Oh, it is. It's
we're
the
thinking
old
about.
version. It'll work though.
We're thinking about how do we like conceptually want to be approaching a situation before we've even entered it, right?
Still a big fan of playing Metal Gear and Bellum with
How do you get it into
solid
Whiteboard?
Snake Rangers.
All right, so in the Whiteboard app, your little toolbar at the bottom there, you're gonna see it says GIF or GIF. Go one icon to the right where it's a.
Oh, I was in the fucking pen. That's why I couldn't work it out.
Yeah. Yep. So click the little icon with a plus on it. Well, after
I can do the rest, Jedi. Jedi,
All right.
I can do the rest. Please, I'm not dumb. I can. Once I find out the button, I can work the rest out. Thank you, though.
Jedi's like, I'm trying to help you, dude. God damn.
Yeah, make up your mind.
What did I say in the VC in the text there? Like, I'm Australian, not stupid, dude. There's a difference.
Is there?
Yeah, dude. I just talk like this. People think I'm fucking stupid.
I mean, honestly, like it's kind of a sick accent, though.
All right, so I'm going to draw on this anyway because this is not how it looks currently. But like, these green squares are fields. Oh, well, now the green square's in the wrong place.
What's up, Zabari?
Yeah, all right, these green squares are those fucking like head high fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like chest high fields. And then forests are forests, buildings are buildings. The best Rangers game, because you were talking about playing strong points, the best game of Rangers I've ever played was playing off this village. So there was, my squad was up on the north here. We had, I'm just going to draw it in lines because it's easiest to play. We had one fire team on, there's like a little berm here, one fire team there and one fire team there. There was another, who's moving the fucking picture?
I got it.
That was my bad. I'm a noob. That was completely my mistake. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just funny, dude.
I would tell you guys how to avoid
Dance
that,
comes in
but
and gets immediately yelled at.
I've been shut down.
There was one squad somewhere around here. That's a terrible square. One squad somewhere around here. The fuck was the other squad? I think they might have been.
While Gundolf is painting the picture right now, for everyone who just joined, right now we're talking about essentially differentiation between real life tactics being applied to, unfortunately, kind of the gameisms and how sometimes you can't perfectly marry them into a game like Bellum, where things like the human dimension with suppression, it doesn't actually make someone fear for their life and keep them down. They just know that they're just going to lose a ticket, and so they'll do things they normally wouldn't do in real life. So we're trying to find the bridge bridge the gap between, real life doctrine and then, kind of just gameisms. And right now, the more specific discussion is how do we take Ranger Regiment, the faction, and then actually make them more lethal against Al-Zalam. And some of the things on the table have been continue to use the strong point idea. My idea was to just play Rangers like as if we're Al-Zalam against Al-Zalam. Some people are saying kind of do a mix of the both. And then I think Gundolf is about to show us an anecdotal evidence of which one are you leaning towards, Gundolf?
This is playing off strong points. This is like the opposite of what
you
were.
Okay,
this
so
is
like
one time
perimeter
it worked
defense.
really well. Anyway, This was like halfway through the match. Like it was really messy in the opening. And then we got back into this. This is like that long village. And this is that water tower on that little hill, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So what ended up happening is we eventually got into a position where there was...
Okay, so let me get this straight for legend purposes. So blue is going to be your friendly positions on their perimeter, their defensive perimeter. Red, obviously enemy. Green is your fields of fire that you kind of
they're literally fields that you can't see on the map. They're literally fields of crops.
You're talking about like the tobacco fields.
Yeah, like the tobacco fields. I mean, literally fields, not fields of fire, like crop fields. There we go. That's enough. But basically, from what I remember, we basically ended up in this position where my squad had one fire. This is a little berm. One fire team was on this berm facing this field. Another one was like spread out really wide in the north, make sure no one got behind us. One squad was in the village. I think the other one was kind of just like, I don't know what they were doing, around the back somewhere. And then we had AZ south of the village down here. There were people, just like an indeterminate amount of people in these fields. Like you could see people's heads like popping up every like 30 seconds. And then eventually they shut up back down here. Anyway, what we had is like, I think there was a third gun team somewhere, but this gun team sat on the edge of this little berm and could see through this entire field. There was a cluster of villages. They could see into the village and they could see into the edge of this field here. And there was a gun team half just below the water tower sitting in the shadows of a tree in a very slight depression, but still on the hill, who could literally see like all of this. And what happened is once we got here, we like convincingly won the game. We absolutely fucked them. So what happened is they tried to move through these fields into there. This squad blocked them. This machine gun literally saw them coming about 400 meters away. And between this machine gun, this squad, these guys didn't go anywhere. On this side where my squad was, we had a fire team here and a gun team here. And they kept trying to they were just showing up. But after a while, they actually tried to commit into our fire team. And the gun team here was watching this road and like this little bit of elevation, and we were sitting literally on the berm 20 meters off the edge of the crop field. And every single person who came through that crop field or tried to push this road got murdered because we were just waiting for them in a really good spot. But like this is,
Question
and then
for you.
Yeah.
Did you guys do anything? I don't know if you see my cursor, but like this tree line is like kind of a mobility corridor, sans the little LDA here. Did you guys have this squad here ensuring that the enemy couldn't like travel up on the edge here and come behind?
I don't remember what they were intentionally doing, but they were somewhere over here, and eventually an enemy squad did try to come through this forest, and this squad reacted. It was way messier than it looks, but this was like the short version.
Alrighty.
But yeah, so it's like, this is like, when you talk about playing with strong points, we absolutely spanked them. We lost a very small amount of people, and we were farming them every time they tried to get through. Anyway, that's an example of playing off the strength. Is we had my fire team was covering the crop fields. These two gun teams were covering the majority of the fields. This other fire team was just like screening this northern field to make sure they didn't get behind us. And then these two were almost like blocking positions almost. And this worked super well. I would not want to be on the other team on this fucking match.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm thinking about my own experiences, and it's like, yeah, commonly as people are getting better playing AZ, Rangers are facing like complete envelopment. And when you're in that situation, you're in a defensive posture anyways. So it kind of makes sense if you're like, okay, due to how these factions are structured, if we're going to end up in envelopment, then we might as well choose where we're going to be enveloped and like take ground to perform that defense. That's like strategically advantageous for us. So I don't know, I fuck with it. I did a platoon defense right here. I don't know if you see my cursor. I don't know how to use this shit.
That's
so
that's a hill, isn't it? That's like a little village.
There's a village there, yeah, with really good line of sight on these two AOAs down here. The only thing that I would have changed is being more intentional about this AOA here and the wide flank, because this is all kind of dead space relative to the village. But I guess, it's a pretty decent strong point as well.
I guess I
does your plan for a strong point change when they add influence? Like if once influence becomes a meaningful factor and AZ gets a big jump time-wise, is being in a defensive posture going to be as advantageous?
Not necessarily.
Depends if you're in a good place to be defensive and it's going to help you win. The problem with all these questions, it's always like subjective. Like that's the real. There's no like magical win button. It's like you want to be defensive if you've got good terrain and you've got that. Like I think the occupation stuff will add more reasons to be defensive. There's probably a good way of saying it. But well, the only thing I was going to say with this is like if you're playing like this and you've set yourselves, your squad leaders, not your platoon, but also your squad leaders who hopefully have enough brain cells to know how the game works, should be able
I wish that was a guarantee.
Should have enough brain cells to realize that once AZ realizes you're there and can't shoot through you, is that all they're going to do is do this. Like, I think people sometimes play defensive and then play statically and then get fucked because they sit there and let them walk around you.
Well, it's just bad perimeter defense, right? Like that's not how you conduct a perimeter defense if you're allowing that to happen.
I think people need to be more proactive in their defense, you know what I mean?
Well, as soon as you engage contact in a defensive posture, as soon as the contact ends, you have to change your defensive posture. As if you just sit there like an idiot, the enemy is going to plan effectively their most perfect counter to that because you're just sitting there like an idiot, not changing anything.
All right. Yeah,
I think a good way to think about that is to like just assume that they're gonna fucking drop bombs on you. Like I know they don't do that in Bellum, but like if you have that mindset and like, cool, we fucking staved off a fucking assault. We got a boogie like right now. Find a different spot. Collapse back in. Move your squads around. Because like I would get punished in Reforger. I know we're not talking about Reforger, but I would get punished in Reforger as as a 1/6 guy, the GM would just fucking drop mortars if I wouldn't move my dudes in time. So, you know, that's kind of stuck with me. Like, don't let complacency fuck over your fucking, you know, chances of success.
We're
Yeah,
still
I
talking
think
about Rangers here, right?
Yeah. Well, this example is, but you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Also, you said that if you sit around too long like an idiot, you're just gonna, get planned on, and eventually you'll get fucked. Unless you sit around not like an idiot and you're invisible. And Rangers have a specific advantage here in the sense that they have perfect camo for hiding.
But I'm not a fucking retard. If you start killing my squad, I'm going to work out where you are because I like living.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. So like right here in the middle, this is a great spot for Rangers because they can. It's seemingly open, but there's so many bushes here that you can just prone and hide in, where if you don't move, no one is going to see you. The enemy will just walk right over the top of you, and you can pop up like it's cool and execute them from the back before they've even figured out what happened.
Moved the whiteboard again.
Oh my fucking god! I'm
God.
sorry.
But
my counterpoint to that is that's really good in theory, except, and this is part of my too much time playing competitive squad against people who are really good at shooting you. Is it's like, where are you going? Or just in this this exact tree line. Oh, now I'm the idiot moving the whiteboard. Fuck. Is it's like you set up here, or like where are the friendlies is probably the real question. Because you'd only set up in that tree line if you know that your flanks are secure, 100%. And then if it starts going wrong, where are you going? This looks like a terrible place to be. If you're, it's blue.
You're not really thinking about fighting from there, but just using. I know for a fact there's great concealment there. So if you can find a spot that's thin and you have a route out and you can just hold still and let the enemy walk over you, that's an area where the Rangers really thrive. Like Al-Zalam can't do that because they have the blue shirts and whatnot. And then
no sports jersey dude slander, please. I love him.
Seder, you can kind of pull it off, but the red armbands will give it away. Whereas Rangers, they're entirely green and whatnot. So you have an entirely green map to just dig in so defensively that no one sees you in the first place. And from there, you can kind of plan around that, being invisible as opposed to running into contact and immediately getting into a fight. Whereas the other factions don't have that advantage necessarily.
I would say that's more of an application of distance than camouflage, though. If a single person stands up in that tree line and my squad's being shot at, my brain immediately goes, there's one dude in that tree line and my entire squad's getting fucked. There's going to be 8 more dudes in that tree line.
Yeah, that's going to take some.
There's always a buddy. He's always got a buddy.
Like, I've never personally pulled this off myself, but I've had this happen to me. My last game, I quit One Life early because I was exhausted, and this happened to me, where a bunch of Rangers popped up from under our asses. Like, I'm convinced we walked directly over them, and they just executed us in 10 seconds, and it was over. And I've gotten to the position where I've had enemies walk over me, but I've never been able to pull off the perfect, stab in the back before. So it's viable. But Rangers are the ones that would have that advantage. I've tried to pull off a
I just feel like I would
just give us away.
I would never plan for that to be my plan.
Yeah, and intrinsically,
unless I was Rangers and I had a really good spot with terrain. That's like, it's a very specific thing where it's everything is situational in this game.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna delete this because I had a thought about War Daddy's game where he was the last death and he wanted to kill himself afterwards. And he was really distressed.
Yo, Pest, my pushback to that kind of like, because what you're discussing is an ambush, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Does anybody want a picture of this before I delete it? I know those freaks who take pictures of every single thing that happens.
5,
well,
4.
Yeah, Dubsky. So, the whole thing that we're trying to keep in mind too is like, ambush is an offensive tactic, and what we're kind of recognizing what we're discussing, I guess, with Rangers is like, when Rangers go on the offensive against Al-Salam, they generally end up being enveloped, which is bad. So it's just something to keep in mind too.
Yeah,
Rangers you can go for that ambush, but you're still going to end up becoming enveloped.
Anytime. Yeah, that's what I've seen about with Rangers.
So I wonder if you could apply the, Rangers play defensively, but then you apply the whole listening outpost concept to squad-sized elements or fire team-sized elements as opposed to single-man or two-man elements, with maybe 1 or 2 squads on that invisible position. Not necessarily in the sense of flank security, but we were talking about earlier, keeping casualties down is a great way to fix an enemy unit. And so if you can guarantee, if you play invisible and you just focus on not applying firepower but being obnoxious as fuck and keeping individual guys down, like, oh, I killed you, I'm just gonna watch you now, hold still and wait for someone to come save your ass, or 5 minutes to pass, or for you to wake up and I'm gonna shoot you again. And you can do that well because no one's gonna see you. You can just hold that invisible posture.
Yeah,
Sorry if I kind of rambled off there.
There's a couple issues I think with that, and it's like for one, you're really dispersing your forces. If you're talking about like, okay, we're defending a position, but we're increasing the size of our outposts, and if those units are so dispersed that they're not within supporting distances of one another, like it doesn't really matter if you pop up perfectly and completely butt fuck a squad that's walking by, because you know, there's other AZ squads that are quickly going to maneuver on you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's almost like you need a wall for them to walk into first, get engaged, and then you're just there for the most part.
That's perimeter defense. That is perimeter defense.
But more like
talk about
wall.
like if you set half a fire team up or half a squad up for proper perimeter defense, and then you have your invisible guys, your other fire team, to be walked over. That's just a specific ranger advantage because you can't, like Al-Salam, that's impossible to do. You can't set aside an entire fire team because their camo doesn't work and they will be spotted at some point. You can kind of, like I said, you can kind of pull it off with Satyr.
It's just the RPG guys, right? And the maybe ARs on fucking Al-Salam that have the jerseys, I believe. I think everyone else has decent camo.
Yeah, Satyr just has those red arm straps that can give them away.
This is War Daddy's. This is that game, very badly recreated. But like, this is the bit that we were talking about. And I just realized it was an application of what I so like these guys. So the AZ had like 3 squads. I think it was one. Fucking, this needs an ability to like lock layers or some shit.
I guess before we get into this really quick, one last thing is I'm not trying to create specific scenarios, just thinking of different ways. How do you use the Ranger's slight stealth advantage to your advantage? Since that doesn't seem like it's something many people talk about. You know, it's firepower and lack of movement speed.
Move through cover, but you should already be doing that.
I think basic just infantryman skills, right? Which is never go out in the open unless you absolutely have to. Make sure that you have a plan to E&E in the event you take contact, which is part of the conversation we had in the other Discord, right? Which was, as you're walking, you should always be thinking about, if I were to get shot at right here, where am I going? Right? What do I have? Where am I at? What can I do with what I have?
Yeah, you can revive people in combat in this game if they are smart enough to shoot at the enemies from behind a rock, so that when they die, the body falls over behind a rock, and the fucking squad leader or medic can crawl up to them and bandage them while there's still a fight happening.
I will definitely say a lot of people take their fights out in the open, and they just sit next to a tiny little bush, and they think it's more cover, when if you were next to a tree, you could probably get pulled back from a tree.
Move stuff if you want. I'm trying to memory recreate this.
All right, so here, so I had 1, 2. They were actually here.
Yeah, this doesn't match. It's really confusing.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, and that's that house. So yeah, move everything back 1 tree line.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all kind of over there.
Yeah, yeah.
But okay, so let me walk. Jesus, yeah, we need to find a way to lock this thing down. I'm gonna hold on. Give me a second.
Like, can someone just grab it?
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust a few things. So we actually had 1 squad here, and then
I'm folding the map, so
we didn't have a 3rd squad yet. So
yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what we did was the initial plan was I used the 3 machine gun. The Drewski was in this one. So we had 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, Drewski is the one that I shot in the back of the head, and we made it through, I think. But yeah.
So the goal here was to use the elevated terrain, and then the fact that we have a large water feature that kind of forced you guys into canalizing terrain. which were the land bridges, right? So we had one machine gun. Their responsibility was the delta over here on the left side. They covered everything over here, all the bridges, all the buildings. This machine gun covered the single land bridge here. This machine gun was supposed to support 1-2 and cover the huge open areas this way, because this was the Alamo Hill, right? The tallest one in the area. You guys we first took contact out here to the right, and that's when 1-2 came over the net. 1-2 troops in contact, and then like 30 seconds later, 1-2 mass cast. And I'm sitting there like, what do you mean? It's been 30 seconds. You got like, what just happened? Following that, we fast forward, that's when a squad tried to push across the center. This machine gun then pushed them back, and then they I got a review alert thing. Mark has resolved. There's so many people. No action needed. They tried to push across. The machine gun pushed them back, which was awesome. And then we got reports of more. You guys we're probing, essentially. Where I messed up as the platoon lead is I removed this machine gun from watching this bridge and pushed them over to bump up the other machine gun over here, which left a gap because I thought you guys weren't going to cross that again. Turns out you guys did.
I heard him say it in our platoon comms, and our squad was like, "Oh, our platoon commander's spending another fire team to their deaths across that river, dude." We were like, "There's no way they fucking survive. They've done it once, they got wiped, and he's asked them to do it a second time."
So I was under the impression that this machine gun team on Alamo Hill, because I told him, I said, "Hey, they're going to try and cross the northern bridge from you." He said, "Okay." They started crossing. I said, "Do you see them?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Did you kill them all?" He said, "Yes." He lied. You guys crawled into this cornfield. And then that's when
pixels crawl into a cornfield.
Yep. That's when you guys got the real good flank around here, because I'm operating under the assumption that I don't have to worry about the center threat. I thought this threat was already kind of handled or being handled. This one was already pushed back. And then that's when you guys crept back here. And then that's when the fucking whole Alamo Hill fell. But I really want to hone on, and then Gundalf, when I'm done running my sweet little mouth, we'll hop back to what you were drawing for. But I think what we can focus on a lot is canalizing terrain to the advantage of the Rangers, because the center of gravity, like we said before, is the machine gun teams. And that being said, using those machine guns and placing them on positions that force the enemy into canalizing terrain, like this bridge right here, we wiped an entire squad in less than 2 seconds. Enfilade fire, perfect, wiped them out, right? Those machine guns, this was later in the match, by the way. So those machine guns,
the fucking running into bullets.
Yes.
At the end.
These machine guns were doing fucking so much work because you guys were just getting thrown. Can you move your mouse, champ? It's kind of like,
oops, sorry,
just off the thing. Nope, you're good. These machine guns were just holding these sectors down because you guys were throwing bodies right into the meat grinder, and we just plugged gaps as needed.
Dude. It was so bad.
Right?
I was watching him do it.
So if you're in the camp of we should use a perimeter static defense, then if you're going to do that, then you need to have terrain that allows you to have perimeter static defense, right? Because I'm gonna try and do this in yellow. This whole thing forced the enemy through specific routes, like Spartans at Thermopylae. You have 300 dudes fending off waves of enemy Persians, but it worked because it negated their number presence, because it made everyone equal on that singular lane, so to speak, right? Especially when I have a belt-fed weapon just laying hate and discontent, right, into that one lane. So the static defense, I think, is good if you have terrain that permits it. But that's the key. If you don't have terrain that permits it, you shouldn't be using a static defense. Not in this game, at least. In this game, there's no way. You cannot do it unless you have perfect world scenario, which I'm still salty we lost by 1 life. I'm still upset about that. I was thinking about that at church last Sunday.
You should have lost by way more, dude. You should have lost by way more. That our team likes running at machine guns. I have 3 questions for your strategy at the start for you on top of the hill, like the start of the match.
Okay.
Strategy.
Yep. I'm all for it.
Assuming you were applying your Rangers, whatever it is, fix and kill. How are you planning to kill them if your entire team is sitting on top of the giant hill they'd have to then run down?
Okay, so the point wasn't to find, fix, and finish. The point was to utilize the terrain again to try and draw you guys into open fields where you would get mowed down, right? Where if you hold on, there's a lot of shit that I need to delete. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna move this. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Do not panic. Do not panic. All right. So there was a lot of things here that helped, or that in my mind on paper made sense. Who is moving it? I am going to scream.
I was going to centralize it. That's all.
Wasn't me.
Don't worry about it.
Killing
Okay, so you have huge fields in which if you go down, what are the odds of you actually being able to get picked back up without, the guy that killed your homeboy also seeing you? Right? And so the goal here was to draw you guys into these killing fields. And we wouldn't need anyone to go confirm kills or finish you guys, because you're finishing yourselves by dying in a place where you can't be rezzed, right? Like your example, if you die behind a rock, you can get rezzed because you have cover. If you die in an open field, can't get rezzed because no one's coming to get you.
Disappointment to your parents, and you shouldn't have fucking died there in the first place.
Exactly, which they did. Like a lot of guys on your team did, unfortunately.
Oh,
like,
there were, don't worry, we had some fucking dribblers on our team that game, dude. Don't you worry.
And so that was the strategy. That was the original strategy, and then it turned in once we lost that right flank, right. And I'm gonna stomp my foot. Local security for your machine guns needs to be like within 25 meters. No more than that, because the guys that were trying to pull local security for the machine gunners over here on Alamo Hill were so far away that it was too late. There was nothing they could do. It was more of a reactionary force than it was a protection force.
Oh, dude, we walked onto them. We walked onto that machine gun.
Exactly. Which another center of gravity just got nixed because I should have. I'll take responsibility for it. I should have told that group, hey, stay close. But that was the initial strategy, which ended up turning to we're gonna do the same thing. Oh, go ahead.
Now that you're saying that's your strategy, I don't think you had enough bodies to play that strategy that wide. You could have played that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Because you said you only had 2 rifle squads. Hey, there's people left or something, or you just only had 2?
Yes. So we had 2 rifle squads. One of them was here, with a machine gun covering all of this, and then these guys were covering all of this, right? The other rifle squad was supposed to be out here, right? We had another machine gun team somewhere in here, and they were covering all of this.
Yeah.
This machine gun down here was the, we'll call it the plan B, right? And so this is machine gun 1, this is machine gun 2, this is machine gun 3. If machine gun 2 could not handle what was happening in the center, machine gun 3 could handle it. If machine gun 1 couldn't handle something over here, machine gun 2 could help handle it. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it was supposed to be mutually supporting machine guns, where if one machine gun couldn't cover an area or was getting overwhelmed, an adjacent machine gun can help out.
I don't have any problem with the machine gun placement. That's not really my point. My point is you don't have enough normal dudes to defend those machine guns.
It comes down to, in my mind, right, in my personal opinion, it comes down to, if you can't occupy with boots, occupy with bullets.
Yeah.
Right. So I was not willing. Fails cursors right there. Fail, you there, buddy?
He's too busy flying helicopters somewhere, man.
I can I'll move him out of the chat, and that should take him out.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. That you're saying the idea was the machine gunners cover the ground.
Even the riflemen cover the ground, right? Because what would be the point of me pushing a squad here, right? Which would have been fine and dandy, but I can cover this area with bullets. I cannot cover. I'll do this in white. I cannot cover this area with bullets because there's too much concealment for you guys to sneak up, and that's why I wanted these guys here.
Yeah, I would say then, because I was fighting that squad, that squad was playing like they were pushing to contact. They were not playing to screen for someone coming to kill the machine gun.
Yeah, that's what. And the guy messaged me. The guy messaged me afterwards, and he kind of apologized. I was like, I didn't want to blame it all on him, but I was like, dude, you were the linchpin and you failed, and so now we got swept, which is on me as well
because
for fucking creating a single point of failure.
Is Spears went wandering to find them because he's playing the drone operator with no drone.
He is the drone.
So what happened is Spears ran into them right here. He's this red dot. He dumps 2 mags. Oh, and then our squad's back here. He dumps 2 mags and then fucking runs away at full speed, yelling about how there's a whole squad up here.
It was pretty
and then
fun here.
this is a little open field. I don't know. The alpha fire team from this squad goes, they must be down there, and then fucking does this into our nine people.
Yeah, they were not
supposed to. Single file, dude, crossing, like, they got fucked. And then what happened is the Bravo, there's more trees here in the actual one. This is all one tree line, I think.
Yeah, these are old graphics. These graphics.
The Bravo,
the
surviving fire team came out here to get a better angle on this fight, which isn't necessarily a terrible idea. But what happened was our alpha was here. Well, that's a terrible attempt at an A. Our alpha was here fighting this. And our Bravo, which was me, we literally just walked like this onto this gun team.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not mad anymore because TWS just beat TWS. So TWS won at the end of the day. So,
but I guess my point is there's 2 halves of that. Like, one, the squad leader could have played that squad in a more of a screening fashion than a pushing to fashion. But at the same time, you kind of hamstrung him by putting him so far out there with so much ground for us to get behind him on. So, like, even if he was screening, I reckon we would have gotten behind him after a while. Because there's so much... Because this hill... This machine gun was up here. Oh, that's the wrong color. This machine gun's up here, like, looking that way. Or more. People always draw these too narrow. If they got eyes, your real arc of fire is like this. If they have fucking brain cells and eyes on the machine gun. But this is a really steep hill. Unless these guys are looking downwards, you can walk underneath them and come up, which is what we did. This machine gun was here firing that way. We literally walked up below them, up the side of the hill like that. As it's like, if you were playing this screening squad, is you probably, seeing this as one tree line, is you would have spread like a fire team here and then like a fire team here. And you've got one guy looking that way. You've got, and then the other 3 are like looking, well, no, there's too many arrows now. But it's like, these end guys are watching for people going wide, and everyone has spread themselves to screen. Because we did this, like we did it in the game before this one. We had like, I was on like the northern edge. We just use a random piece of terrain, but like we had a squad fighting here and a squad fighting here, and there was an enemy squad here and an enemy squad here. Well, that's a giant square. Enemy squad here and an enemy squad here. No, this one was like there, and there was gun teams. This is the river AO. Actually, maybe we just use the river AO picture. That's probably not very hard, is it? And this is, hopefully this explains how I squad lead like I do. When I squad lead. Squad leading's, I like shooting people too much. I get bored squad leading and I get myself killed because I'm like, I want to go shoot the people over there too.
Honestly, War Daddy, I think your strategy was great. I think you just didn't have enough boots on the ground to do it. And Rangers just don't have the maneuverability. Like, if that one gun team on the right got hit, which it did, you had nobody around to even come support, which I know you did, in theory, have someone coming around, but...
If you had a 3rd rifle squad in the center of that dude, you would have been fine, because that eastern squad would have been like, we got fucked, and then you just send the central squad to the east, and then no one's overmatched anymore.
So question then, right? Like,
just wanted to say thank you, War Daddy, for the class. Hope you
man.
all have a good night.
Later,
everybody.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
See ya.
So I know we've already switched pictures and matches and shit, but if you are down, to basically call it half strength in that match specifically, where the 3rd machine gun team was, why not keep the like that closest like security element like in the same tree line as the gun team. Like was the terrain just not going to allow for that? Keeping them like let me get my compass bearing here. Looking northeast, like 75 yards from the third gun team. Like, is it just that the sight lines are too close to have security there to prevent homies from just like walking up on your guys? Or I'm sorry if that's not making any sense.
Dude, I would say that's a squad leader problem, dude. Your daddy can't say stand in this one tree line because he's got to do it.
Hold on. Let me. I'm trying to follow what you were talking about. What?
Which gun team are you talking about? One.
So the
Alamo
three.
Hill?
Yeah, Alamo Hill. Yeah, the gun team on Alamo Hill that got walked up on because they didn't have security that was on the other side of that hill. So the enemy just walked up on them and fucking schwacked them. And I understand like what you mean, Gundolf, by like, hey, it's a fucking squad lead problem, but at the same time, like you're playing a game that requires brain cells. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it might be boring, but like at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, like, is winning the match more important than fucking off and doing whatever? Like,
yes.
Do you mean? Oh yeah, as in like people need to be more. Like there's times to be.
I was just let me show you what the thought process was from War to separate the second squad and the third gun team by so much distance.
They were
because
hills.
we're in a hard position because we're getting essentially task saturated by platoon lead at the moment, right? Which is he wants us to defend. He wants us to defend terrain, but he also wants us to take terrain. And so, you don't want to be an asshole and say fuck you. I'm not listening to what you're saying, right? It's just a game at the end. Remember TWS motto: take the game seriously, not ourselves.
Not ourselves, right?
So it's just like I'm not going to argue with the dude over a video game. I'm just going to try and accommodate as best I can, and then we can talk about it afterwards and be like, hey, this did or didn't work, right? And that's the whole point is if he wants us to hold terrain, but he also wants us to take terrain. Well, again, the three questions: where am I? What do I have? What can I do with what I have, right? And so we are, spread out, or we were at the time when I got the message up here. And then what did I have? I had essentially 3 gun teams, and a full squad. That's a pretty heavy squad. You can supplement a fire team with a machine gun team. So if I send 1-1 this way with a plus a gun team, that's fire that they'll be fine. If they employ themselves correctly, they'll be fine. While I maintain a defensive perimeter facing this way, so they can flank going that way. It's where am I? What do I have? What can I do with what I have?
I have an example of the exact thing you were talking about. Could you Control Z some of your arrows off my picture?
I would love to. However, I have to go. I got to take care of some family stuff. But I appreciate all of you.
Please, before you leave, please.
Yeah. Hold on. I appreciate all of you coming out. This is actually pretty badass. This is why TGBS was created, was for this exact kind of stuff. So that being said, stick around, keep talking about this stuff, keep learning, keep doing all these things. And then hopefully either this weekend or sometime this week, we will either try and seed the Reforger PvP server. We'll do something, or I don't know. We'll figure something out, but we're going to get another community event going this week. We'll fucking blow out. All right. I'll catch y'all later. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Keep doing the thing. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sweet.
Have a good one, brother. So last thing I got to talk about if I got to go as well. You're talking about like waiting. This was the first match, dude. There were M240s on this hill, which was the biggest pain in the fucking ass of my entire life. This is the most painful place for these to be because you can't see them, so you can't shoot back at them. Actually, there was a squad who spent the entire match trying to like do this, and they killed them in the last 5 minutes, and we lost. But so I was talking about sitting still. There's like this is my squad here. This squad was fighting rangers that had come over this bridge. this squad was fighting Rangers who come over that bridge, and my squad was like on this like western flank of like our group of squads. And I was just about to commit my like Bravo to flank this squad when I don't know who it was. I think one of the platoon guys spotted another squad like running down this hill. And I was like, in my brain, I was like, there is only one place that squad is going, and that is right somewhere here. And so what I did when they called that is I actually said, I don't know, let's put numbers on it so you can look at it. This can be, I don't remember which numbers they were, but I checked that squad 2 wasn't getting so royally fucked that I had to like full commit to save them. They said they were okay. And so once they said they were okay, I was like, cool. So what I'll do is I will use my Bravo to pressure this and start to open a little bit of an L flank, but tell them not to commit. And then I'll keep my Alpha back here and I'll see if this squad shows up. And then like 5 minutes later, we started seeing like dudes' heads pop up. There's a little like cluster of buildings here. This is like a little open ground. I started seeing like heads pop up. And when we did, we went, oh fuck, there's that squad from before. Is I pulled Bravo back and then we made a line through here for Alpha and Bravo. And we absolutely fucked these guys as they tried to like flank us. And like the reason I didn't like, you're talking about like playing the flank and like waiting, is it's like if you're the last squad on the line, one of your jobs is to make sure you don't get rolled along your line. So like I left one of my fire teams out of the fight on purpose to see if this flanking squad showed up. And I made sure I didn't fully commit this Bravo. And then when they did show up, because we knew they were coming, we fucked them. We ended up losing. Everything else in this game went wrong. But that was one really good thing.
Yeah, that game was fucking horrible. I hated that shit.
Dude,
I was
we
your
ended
alpha
this
team
game.
leader.
These guys got wiped. But they got 2 dudes onto the machine guns that killed the machine guns in the last 5 minutes. And then my squad started to run away. Oh, no. Who did that?
Whoever did that,
It was
Control
God.
Z. Control Z.
That was my bad.
There we go. My squad started to run away. First, we ran away to these ones here, this like buildings and tree lines here, because these guys are all dead. We're like, oh fuck, their entire team's coming. And then we realized that we see rangers up here, and we saw some rangers down there. So we started to like run away even more, and we got to here, and then there was rangers on this hill between our fob is there. There's rangers on this hill shooting at us. There's rangers moving this way. There's rangers moving that way. There's an indeterminate amount of rangers in front of us. And we died in this fucking cornfield. And then the game ended.
Yeah, I left like half an hour before that because I was so done with the bullshit. It was just zero cohesion at the platoon level.
It was a rough match,
no
man.
idea what he
Yeah.
was doing.
Dude, it was so bad. We had like 5 or 6 dudes left. We were stuck in one of those like tobacco fields. And like I walked we had like 2 guys dead from these guys. And then I spotted these dudes coming towards like along this tree line. And then someone else called out enemies southeast here. And obviously they're still behind us because it's these squads coming forwards. And we're like, I think we're about to fucking die. And then, yeah, like maybe 90 seconds later, we were all dead. So, yeah, don't worry. That game did not go well. That was just one good thing that happened.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, but at the same time, I hate to be, the cheery dude, right? But like, even from like because I was in for maybe the last half of that match. Don't get me wrong, it was still rough. Like, it was an experience, but definitely learned a lot of like valuable lessons though, like about just maintaining situational awareness, like on top of anticipating movement of like the enemy fucking leadership. Like I'm always like asking myself, like, what would I do in their position, or what is the hardest thing to do? Or what is the hardest decision to like make sure that I can fuck these dudes' day up like more than they've ever been fucked before. Pause. And
where's is there a eraser button in this fucking thing? Maybe not.
It was interesting to kind of like see it see it happen in real time. And it was important, like at least to me, to understand that how quickly team coordination on the platoon wide scale can break down when higher leadership and 2IC and like there is no communication or like plan of like what the fuck do I do if this then that, and I understand that like that's getting into the nitty gritty of fucking oh, it's doctrine, bro, you only do it one way, like fuck that bullshit. But you have to have a decent understanding of like how to react to things or have an idea of like if I'm getting encircled, because I felt like we were just trying to push all in different directions instead of like trying to consolidate and push in one direction,
Yeah. Or like the thing
the
that I always
communication
think,
breaking down like that just fucked us.
I don't know if people agree.
Sorry.
I don't know if people agree because this is my point of view, but it's like I feel like a lot of squad leaders, I don't know, they don't expect the platoon lead to think for them, but it's like, oh, my platoon lead hasn't told me what to do.
I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I feel like.
Kind of vibe, or they keep doing something, but it's like in this situation here, this part was going really well. Please ignore every other part of this match, please. It didn't go well. The rest of this match didn't happen. But this exact moment, this engagement was going really well.
The fucking stars aligned.
All three squads. And like, if you've got three squads like this, you're close enough to support, but you're not wide enough to go around. And it's like, it's these squad leaders. So short, like the platoon lead might tell you go here. You're playing off. This is school. Squad 2's playing off school. Squad 1's playing off the open ground south. Squad 3's on the west. But it's up to these squad leaders to actually like. I know the squad next to me is fighting over whatever. There is a gap between me and that squad where enemies could get through. I need to move some guys into that gap. Or it's like here as well, where it's like if someone's up there, like I know these guys are coming north. I can't just fuck off and fight the people fighting squad 2 because if these guys show up later, we're all dead because I'm not looking there anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, from like a squad leader's perspective, I was thinking like from this perspective because I fucking hate this platoon position, man. It is so fucking bad.
I don't know why we were there. I don't think we were there by choice.
I was thinking like 3 and 2.
No, we were not.
Together.
We were not there by choice.
3 and 2 need to work together to push north and help, and 1 needs to move in as like the kind of the flank security because y'all need to push north. This is a position that's just not defendable. It's simply not.
There is no pushing north from that position. The best thing I think that we should have done from fucking day 0 is like retrograde the entire platoon back to the farm and start the entire movement over because it was just so fucking bad, dude. It's like let's just send 1 squad into the AO and then let's send 3 squads outside of the AO for the first 30 minutes of the game and then renege on our commitment on the flank. And then have them maneuver back, and then by the time the platoon's main body is actually in the AO, let's just make sure that the enemy has already taken all the key terrain. And
it's AO anyways, but that's
it's a bad it's a bad thing, and not to knock the PL because like 2 days before that, we had a successful match here. Well, it was more like that. We had the hills and stuff up here, like that. But the important, I think that this issue that we're not an issue, but this thing we're discussing, this amorphous blob. I don't know what to call it, but it's kind of twofold, threefold, right? Like the first one is that a lot of people are kind of coming into this and they have the squad leader mentality, right? Of like, it's going to turn into a meat grinder. We've got the tickets, we've got the time. Like, I'll just tell them give up and respawn wherever. They have that mentality of like, it doesn't matter if I have flank security or not because, in 60 seconds I'm going to get one of my fire teams back. Like it doesn't matter. Right. And I think that's the biggest like display of like, middle and lower leadership is that like too many people have that mentality because they haven't played a game where the meta, not to quote Karmika, but like where the meta is the fucking tactics, right? Like the people with brain cells. The second thing is that like people kind of in middle, and this happens in my fucking job all the time, dude. Like people in middle leadership kind of expect higher leadership to kind of tell them what to do every second of the day, and like, hey, I need you to do A, B, C, D, whatever, right?
Dude, I've played with some like obviously current military dudes who like tell you like every single step of the process, and you're like, dude, I'm not that stupid where you got to tell me which tree line to walk through at what speed with like which fire team in front. I can make my squad go somewhere without your help, dude.
I don't know. Sometimes
there needs to be. Sorry, bud. My bad.
Oh, I was just saying, some of those guys, you do have to do that though, because
I'm talking about like real people, not like the bots. Okay.
He said the fucking blueberry bots.
When you don't know the person you're working with, you can't blame them, because sometimes you run into just absolute robots.
But like, and that's the thing, is that like I hope, right, that the more people play this game, and the more that like people step into the leadership roles, like they start to realize that you do have a certain level of autonomy, right, to an extent. If your PL is not responding or doesn't have a game plan, and your 1-7 is kind of fucking off and doing whatever, or pick a fucking reason on why higher leadership isn't it isn't helping out, right? Then middle leadership needs to fucking get their shit together and be like, look, like, the PL can tell us to do one thing or not, but like if it's getting us fucking killed over and over and over again, like we're just gonna have to eat the fact that he's gonna be pissed that we're not doing what he wants.
I guess I thought of a good way to summarize what I was trying to say before as well. That's like, you see my amazing drawing on the map.
Oh yeah, it's Picasso, bro. It's great.
The little circles. You think that's like a chain, dude? Like visualize a chain. It's like each of these squads is independent of each other and has their own.
But you can only go so
thing
far.
They're currently doing. Not even so far, but it's like everything you do should be linked to what the other squads are doing. Like if I'm flanking someone, if I'm flanking someone, I'm doing it to help this squad. I'm not going on an adventure that's going to take me 15. Because you see people go on flanks, dude, and that takes them so long to get there. The squad they're trying to support.
Oh my god!
By the time the flank arrives,
hate that shit, dude. I've seen that so many times.
But it's like if I'm
flanking, motherfucker, I'm dead.
Yeah, dude, you needed to be there 5 minutes ago. Something else in my squad leading opinion is you can make good decisions so slowly they stop being good decisions, dude.
Yeah,
but
that's a really good point. Yeah, that actually is a really
middle leadership.
Yeah,
moving in a way that doesn't get you killed, like moving in a smart way, like your individual dudes moving in a smart way, like not holding shift, and like you actually positioning your squad
shift W to victory
takes time, and it's like, but like that takes time, and if you spend too long thinking about what you're going to do, you're going to run out of time because the movement part takes too long.
Right.
Yeah, middle leadership needs to be better at not only
to your point,
of ideas,
Gandalf,
but also seeing what ideas their squad comes up with too. Because oftentimes it's like, I just need a plan. I don't need it to be the fucking like Napoleon plan. I just need something.
50% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want an 80% solution 100% of the time.
Yeah.
To your point, Gundalf, like one of the biggest things I see is, especially in the milsim space with people who are really into this stuff, is they forget the importance of timing and tempo, right? Like where I'm going to be, like when I'm going to be is just as important as where. You know what I mean? But a lot of people spend so much time looking at a map and thinking about where they're going to be, they forget about the timing and execution of it.
Yeah, dude, you're not playing Zeus, dude. You're not playing Zeus. Those real people you're fighting will not be there. They will be
and everything's going to take longer than you think it's going to take.
Yeah, there's been times in Bellum, but also a lot of times in Scob, where someone's like, You're like, hey, I need you to fall back now. I think you're about to get cut off. And they're like, oh,
that's going to
no,
take
I think I'll be
5
okay.
minutes.
And it's like, no, you need to start doing it now, because if you don't start doing it now, you will not get there.
Oh yeah, that's that's when I start fucking yelling at my guys. Is like, hey, yo, I didn't say like 5 minutes. I'm saying like now, like fucking fall
now,
back
yeah,
now. I don't
on
give
the
a shit.
fly.
Oh, you see
Yeah.
the enemy? Congratulations. There's supposed to be any behind us, and you're about to have a fucking bullet in the back of your head. So
yeah,
let's go.
That's the most frustrating thing. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like that like just gets my fucking blood boiling, and like it almost turns me into fucking like Gordon Ramsay screaming at people
it's worse in
sometimes, because
squad where
like
you can see all the markers, dude, because you can be like, hey, I need you to come help me now. I think I'm going to be alive for maybe 2 more minutes if you don't come help. Because in squad you can see like
everybody,
the arrows, and so you'll be able to see them not moving, and you're like, please, I can see you not moving. I need help now, please.
So,
at least in this game, you can only see the boxes, and you can't have that level of pain.
That's
I'm telling people
that
like
about the flanking, like you're talking about, Gandalf. I was this 1-2 blue right in the middle next to the bridge. I was the only squad out there in the very beginning. Our guy told us, he's like, I want you guys to go out there and find them. I'm like, you want us to go alone? You want us to cross the open bridge, the most open bridge in the beginning of the game, where the closest to their spawn? And he's like, yes. I'm like, all right.
Oh my god.
Do it.
So
full send, let's go.
So yeah, full send. I was like, okay, my whole squad, it's either we die all together or we get across all together. There's no in between. We're all going. So he said the number, I think it was 1-4 or whatever up here, 1-3 was here, and 1-1 was sitting back here. And I'm like, all right. So we crossed, came to all of your guys in the middle there. And I'm like,
it was
just us. So it was like, boys, we just got to fall back. Like, we killed a couple of them, fall back. Like, we're going to take losses. Fell back to literally the edge. Literally just holding the edge of that thing. I was like, everyone, I want you to prone down, not move a muscle. Don't even shoot if you can avoid it. And your 2 squad pushed up in there, started getting a few kills. I think they kind of thought that we'd run across the bridge, which, by the way, I was told to run across the bridge out in the open while getting chased by your 2 squad.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
fuck that.
oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's all run. No, everyone sit. And I was getting yelled at the whole time by 1-6 up there, like, okay, if you're not going to move, then I'm going to send 1-3 to come help you. I'm like, sweet, 1-3 is going to come help. It's like, all right, 1-3, I want you to take this path all the way around and get over here. I'm like, what do you mean help me? Like, how long do you think I'm going to live down here?
Yeah, you needed to start moving here. Like, you need to start moving west as fast as possible, because you needed to get closer to the platoon.
Yeah, so
I spawned in on you when that shit was happening, and we got super lucky that they didn't just hammer us with HE. Otherwise, we would have been fucked.
Yeah, we would have died just instantly because we had no support. We had a couple guys up here in these tree lines, but that was it. I was like, what did you expect us 1-2 to do over here in this little tiny area? I always expect you guys just to come and rush us, throw some nades and kill us all. And finally you saw that 1-3 guy move across, but that was 10 minutes. I mean, it took him 10 minutes to get to that spot.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I sat in that same spot for 10 minutes, not moving. We finally was like, okay,
oh yeah.
I think
so here
1-3 has died, because that's what happened. We were like, I think 1-3 has died. I think we are fine now to cross the bridge and run back.
Yeah, if I was 1-3, I'd start fucking booking it, man. Like, I'm telling everyone, double time, regardless. Just start booking it over there. I don't give a shit. And like, I'm just going to hope and pray that nobody's up here. Nobody's up here.
Talk about a flank. Like, he's like, I'm gonna send him to help you. It's like, I was out there in the open, like nothing. I was like, and talk about a flank. It, like I said, 10 minutes before the 1-3 went over there and then instantly died because they got spotted. It's like,
yeah.
What do you guys think is the meta for the southern spawning team here?
Honestly,
let them cross the bridge, dude, because
you need to let them cross the bridge first.
Yep.
But where are you holding?
Send a squad down
holding.
low, one up here where the blue is.
Yeah, you need to hold this tree line over here. You need to
hold
dog
shit terrain. All of this is so fucking ass. There's zero maneuvering on 99% of this. Especially you hit this like there's a line here that if you maneuver north of a line, if they have gun teams or squads up in these hills, you just get suppressed.
Yeah, you'll get suppressed. They're not going to see you very much though, but you will get suppressed. Like the
and then you
chances
have like
Yeah,
these two
you need to hold,
movement
like,
corridors and It's just not. It's not
here,
good.
Well, not there, but you need to hold like the village, and you need to hold this tree line near the road because this is just fucking suicide, man. This is just complete and utter suicide.
This canal right here, you can actually spot movement in this canal from the hilltop. So I also put a squad or a couple squads here once, and yeah, it's very easy to detect. The only success I've had playing the southern spawn is actually when I go and I occupy the village, and it's off the image, but or is it? No, yeah. Holding that northern, I have a squad up here holding this northern bridge, a squad holding these 3 land bridges, a squad holding the southern approach and the 2 bridges, and then a squad out here on this hill has really good line of sight on these open fields. And generally, even against rangers, you can tank the 240 Bravos and lock down those advances into that village. Is that wide maneuver, which really it's okay, but the downside to that wide maneuver is sustainment is dog water, right? If a squad gets completely wide, it's like, okay, see you in fucking 25 minutes, or if then God forbid they run out of ammo. So I don't know. Those are just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna hold, I think you go to that where that red 1 is down low, kind of occupy the area looking this way.
Yeah, that could work too. I never tried that actually.
And then you get the number 2 to take the number 3 spot, which could then look more along this way. And then you have the tree line over here, which can look all up here as well as support.
Yeah, this is a nice tree line.
Because
that's not a bad idea.
This tree line down here sees everything to the left of it and can see a lot to the left of it, as well as this open area down there. There's only some houses right here with a nice, basically path up to walk up to. But once you're there, you kind of get pinned down because it's the only hill that blocks everything. Everything else up there is very minimal hilly.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because the terrain right here is super canalizing. Like if you're ever trying to move north, it's like if you're crossing this line in either direction, it's like you either have to squeeze in through here or you have to go out wide where you have a lot of variation in the terrain. So I like this setup. I might try that out.
Yeah, because
that way you get the southern too is that you can break off guys to have LPOPs and shit like that. Because like there's some really good sight lines that maybe they don't have to affect the fight. Maybe they just like even they could even just like harass someone really quickly and get out of there just to slow an approach if you have a flank that's not prepared. But I don't know, because right here,
yeah, that's
there's some hills.
Notice how we're all like flanking on this map. Flanking is actually damn near impossible if you really want to think about it. Because if you're across from the river, you basically can't flank, at least not effectively, and not an effective timeline. It's just not. It's just basically not possible because
there's usually like wide maneuvers, but I think it's a little crazy to say like you can't flank. Like if you're saying you can't flank, then you're saying that you can't maneuver, which is just not true. But there's no like wide flanks if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's like it's well, I guess. Yeah, well, what I mean by you can't flank isn't like you can't do like the most effective and nice flank, which is generally like one that
you need
can
to
set up in like
aim
5
for
minutes. It
penetrations
takes
and breaches.
like 20 minutes to set up a fucking flank, and by then so much has changed that oftentimes it's like I don't even know if I'm flanking or if I'm just heading straight into them.
Dance, you said about penetrations. Why do you feel like in that kind of situation, a penetration is something that you'd look to take advantage of?
So I mean, like as a general format, like what do you need to accomplish like a breach, right? Versus like your classic Battle Drill 1 Alpha 90-degree flank. You could try something like the saloon doors, where you have like you have a base of fire and then you have an intermediate base of fire on either flank, right, shooting into the center, and then you send the assault up the middle, right, and then the 2 SPFs open up. This is like the textbook theory. the two SPFs on either side open up right to the outside, so it's like their lines of fire are opening up like two saloon doors, and that facilitates a frontal attack through basically you're just concentrating fire, but like that could be a way to facilitate like a decisive attack without needing to spend a lot of time maneuvering, especially if you're trying to cross a river where you're basically just trying to punch through a choke point.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. I don't really think about these rivers as like breach operations, but you totally
It's an
can.
opposed river crossing, so like you'll see a lot of similarities with what you need. It's just at a larger scale. Once we get mortars, it'll become a lot easier because you'll have smoke
Dude,
deployed
I'm so
or deployed
stoked.
smokes and
Yeah,
IDF.
I think that's the reason why this map is so bad is because you're so locked to infantry, right? Like you
And it'll be really interesting when there's vehicles. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
My bad.
You're good.
That too.
But like, yeah, you're just like you're so infantry locked. It's like, well, you're kind of fucked. Like whoever attacks is going to be at a natural disadvantage because you can only attack through these choke points. And
Well,
it's just like if
you guys don't mind me like hang on, because like it talking about like not wasting time pulling, doing breaches and or flanks and like deliberate like focusing fire and then trying to like punch through a specific area. Like it was interesting because the first match I played on this map, we pulled a draw. I don't even know how that happened, but we ended up drawing with the enemy team, and they had like moved up this way, and then they had set up like. Sorry, I'm left-handed drawing on a right-handed mouse, so bear with me here, boys. They had like set up like this, right? So we had one dude here. They had some guys up here on the ridge line. I had a group here, a group here. We had some dudes over here.
Was it Ranger Satyr?
It was Ranger Satyr, yeah, and I had
I think I was on the Satyr side. I might have been. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of is we had some guys over near the end of the match. We had some guys over here, and you had a lot of Rangers like over here.
Yeah, so I'll break that, dude. It was like textbook break contact, dude. Like platoon wide break, dude. It was so fucking sick. Oh my god, I was like half masked the entire last half of the match because like the dude, they were fucking, they were on their shit. But we saw everybody on Satyr moving up, to the north, and I had as the 1-7, I moved my gun like 2 gun teams. Let me get a different color, like that, and then like that, on that little like tree there, and we had like OPs like there. We had an OP like this way, but we ended up like moving them back to the whole squad. And then they told us like, hey, like they're fucking moving. My 1-1, 1-2, 1-2, and 1-3 with the gun teams were starting to get fucking engaged from at range, like that. And they reported movement that they were like pushing a super wide fucking flank. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, right? Because like 60% of the time I'm always wrong. My assumption on like what the enemy's doing is usually wrong. But for whatever reason, the kitchen gods decided to not fuck me. And put me on the 40% right side. So I ended up pushing 1-2 and a gun team like this to actually, it was more like that up here. And we ended up, and then I crashed and I spent 15 minutes trying to get back into the fucking match. But I was so pissed, bro. I was like, no.
Yeah, shit's annoying.
Dude, but if they had like focused their fire like to the land bridge, let me get a different color. They had like focused their fire like here, right? And then pushed through as a unit like that instead of splitting up their fucking guys and like moving all the way around, they would have fucking swept right through us, right? So when I reconnected, I had found out that Satyr had pushed dudes across the river like here. My guys were
I think I was that element.
Oh, dude,
it is early in the game.
Fucking shit, bro. Okay, so I get back in and I'm fucking like here with 1-6, the guy that kind of fucked us on the match that everybody was talking about before. And he's like, oh, dude, we're black on ammo, like, we've been holding this, like the north is secure, blah 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 blah, right? And I'm like, dude, if 1-1 and 1-3, 1-1 and 1-3 are like out of ammo, we gotta boogie the fuck out of there, right? And he's like, no, we can stay. And then like that's when we heard that like the fucking these dudes were fucking pushing in. And I was like, nah, dude, like I kind of I'd ask forgiveness, not permission.
That we were like, I was assuming these guys, we were suppressing these guys, and so we were like,
they were. That's the thing, is that like, dude, we were taking massive fucking MG fire from these guys. Like 1-1 was like fucking penned, dude. It was bad. It was like,
we were.
If I didn't act,
engage.
Yeah, dude. If I didn't like start moving like my character model down here, like to unfuck these guys, like we would have been steamrolled, right? So it's better to ask forgiveness than permission sometimes. Okay, I was gonna ask, like, how did the fuck you do that?
I'm not joking.
Jesus Christ.
Got my guys over here, and then we just fucking booked it. Like we booked it. And then I told my guys, like, as soon as you cross the river, find somewhere and just go prone. Just go.
Yeah, just hide. Yeah. Because you guys popped out of nowhere, dude, and it's like my fucking 1-1, my fucking 1-3 dude's like, oh my god, contact close, fucking 7,500 yards. Now it's like, fuck.
How effective were we? I forget.
You were on our tail as we broke contact all the way back through the fucking village. But the suppression from the fucking belt feds, like up here, was fucking very accurate.
I actually think they were, from what I remember, they're over here. Like,
no fucking way, dude. Yeah, because like, so I fucking Medal of Honor ran from the middle of the fucking village all the way up here to 1-1. I take like 3 rounds to the limbs. And I'm like, bro, we got to get our guys the fuck out of here. And they're like, no, we're just squad wiping dudes. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, it's not about the gunfight, dude. You can zoom out a little bit. I said, we got a fucking boogie, man. Like, have a good night, Jedi.
Later, bros.
I'm glad that they listened. You know what I mean? Because like, he had like a mass cas, a whole fire team was down. They're trying to get up their belt fed. Like, it was a shit show, dude. Like, you guys were really fucking effective.
Yeah, we started taking contacts and we had to pull back, from what I remember. Like, we lost, I think, a fire team because we started killing some of these guys, but we had to just start pulling back, and we basically we got fucked. And I think like a fire team survived, but we had to pull back to the forest.
So I will say, like, my medium leadership, my fucking 1-3 and 1-1 SLs were fucking beasts, bro. Like, they were, the second they saw you guys push it up to that fucking tree line to the south, they immediately swung barrels and like went cyclic, bro. Like, they're fucking they're fucking 249 fucking melted their fucking barrel, dude. Like, it was yeah. So like, and I always expect pushback when I tell people leave your fucking dude on the ground. You know what I mean? Because like, everybody wants to be you don't leave anybody behind. It's like, nah, dude. Like, this guy on the ground is going to make you a guy on the ground. Like, we have to move. But they got everybody. I think from the time I ran up to 1-1 to the time we started breaking, like, this way, was like 40 seconds. And they were fucking gone, dude. Like, they were full sprint. And the entire time, the craziest part, the entire fucking time, dude, this fucking, like, squad or gun team, dude, I could see the bullet impacts, like, 3 feet from the whole group of dudes. Like, they were shooting between us.
Recording of it. Hold on. I might have a recording.
Oh, dude, it was fucking nuts, man.